even going to be a quality loss if they lose this weekend. It's a top 10 loss.
I wonder, I go back to Kansas State, if Will Howard, well, first of all, if Adrian Martinez doesn't get hurt and then Will Howard doesn't get hurt and Rubley doesn't have to come in that game, Kansas State with 2 losses, where would they be right now? And would they have a chance to win the Big 12 and get in with 2 losses over an undefeated TCU?
I
mean, they'd be higher than number 10 right now. They'd be about where Tennessee is, 7.
Yeah. And one other thing on Alabama before we get to the phones here and tell you about our friends at Buzzed, B-U-Z-D, the app. You don't know what the committee's saying about Bryce Young either. Alabama's lost at Tennessee, though his stats were tremendous. He was playing injured, right? And you don't know how we were always told they could factor that in. We don't know if they are factoring that in at all or what degree they're taking in the Bryce Young injury into everything, or for Kansas State. They've had injuries, and they were on there. What were they up? They were up 2 touchdowns.
Up 18.
Up 18 with TCU when Kansas State was playing TCU earlier when their quarterback got hurt, and you don't know if they're factoring any of that into the conversation.
I wouldn't think injury-wise they're factoring it into Tennessee. You would hope they factor it into LSU. Yeah. Alabama's lost to LSU because Bryce Young, if they're thinking injury with Tennessee, it would be on the defensive side.
But on the flip side, I'm just playing devil's advocate there for the Alabama fans who may be thinking that. Do they also bring in the fact that Alabama played Texas on the road and barely won that game when Texas was without their starting quarterback? I mean, you can work both sides of the coin in that situation.
But, if you watch current Quinn Ewers, you're like, yeah, maybe he was just having 2 good drives because I don't think he's that good a quarterback right now. I don't know. That's why I hate it when they get into crap like that because you can easily blow both those arguments up.
That's why I bring up both sides of that.
Yeah.
You know what's insane? If USC doesn't lose that 1-point game and they're undefeated right now, they are in regardless.
I would agree.
Win or loss.
I would agree.
If TCU is the Texas brand, they're in regardless.
Yeah.
So really it would be locked in right now.
Regardless of championship games. I always go back to the BCS before you tell us about Buzz here. And I think I'm right about this, Brown. We always do it after the last one on Sunday, and the BCS usually matches up exactly like the BCS would have.
Right.
Not that these people just eat, nice sandwiches and drink, the free pop and free Bud Light and watch games on Saturday and then say, okay, what would the BCS be? And then make that their final ranking on Sunday. But Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Ohio State, USC, Alabama is what the BCS would be right now.
Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Ohio State, Alabama. So
No, Ohio State, USC, Alabama.
Okay,
so
USC,
Alabama's still 6.
Okay, still 6.
But it's Ohio State 4, USC 5 if we were going by the old BCS right now.
Wow, I wouldn't like that.
USC wouldn't like that either.
USC wouldn't like that either.
All right. Tell us about Buzz, and we'll get some phone calls here.
Hey, it's the fastest, most affordable delivery service with pricing in line with your favorite package or convenience stores. Buzz combines the best of service and delivery industries to create this unique to Alabama and first-of-its-kind service found on your app store, BUZD. Download it right now. Use that code NEXTROUND, 15% off your first order. I know a lot of people have Christmas parties already starting this weekend, the 1st of December. If you run out of goods, these guys can bring the party to you. It's a unique business model. They've got cannabis, including the Delta 8. Great stocking stuffer there. They've got all types of alcohol, tobacco. They're adding inventory constantly from downtown Birmingham to Highway 119 and everything in between. We bring the buzz to you. Get buzzed, BUZD.
JD is up in Huntsville. Good morning, JD. Welcome to the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. How are you, buddy?
I'm great, man. First, I didn't get to mention anything about the Iron Bowl. I about fell out of my chair when I heard Nick Saban say in postgame that they retooled and took a look at all their tendencies going into that game. I thought, wow, okay, that's something that should have been happening all season long. Bill O'Brien looked great. Those plays they called and how they called the game, I thought, where has this been all season long? It, took about 5 shots deep, which I thought was important. Anyway, impressed with the Iron Bowl. Listen, Alabama doesn't deserve to be in a playoff this year, but can we all just agree there is not a clear-cut dominant team like there was last year. Even Georgia, in being undefeated, is not nearly as dominant as they were last year. Can we agree?
No, I agree 100%. I don't think there's a clear-cut best team in America right now.
But Joel Klatt said this weeks ago in our show, and he's 100% right. We are in a year of a more average or normal college football season. The 2021 Georgia defense was one of the greatest of all time. The 2020 Alabama offense, the 2019 LSU offense, and the 2018 Clemson offense and defense were some of the greatest of all time. So you've had historic teams in 18, 19, 20, and 21. Now this is just a normal college football season with some good teams, but not historic teams.
That's
so,
right.
so it does look different.
And
yes.
JD, I don't know if Georgia's as good as they were last year or not, but I mean, I do know this. Outside of Missouri, if you could take that game away, they've won every game going away.
And they are the most consistent team to
I
me.
wouldn't call Kentucky going away. I don't know if I'd call Georgia going away or Georgia Tech going away. I mean,
they won by 24 points.
They did, but that game was 10-7 at the end of the first quarter. What was the halftime score? 14-10 or something like that?
Yeah.
17-10?
But it's a rivalry game.
Tech is not a good team. I know they upset North
No.
Carolina, but they're not a good team. So, but anyway, the only way that Alabama can get into the playoff, and Dunaway, I think you said there's no way, is if TCU were to get slap blown out, which could happen. I mean, they were down 17 at the half against K-State the first time. I agree with you. I think Big 12 officials are not going to let that happen. Big 10 officials have been known to do that to help their teams, not so much in the SEC, and I don't think the Pac-12. You think the Pac-12 would do that for USC?
No, I think they would do it the opposite, actually, sadly.
Yeah, because Pac-12 are just bad officials. They don't know how to.
Yeah.
They don't know how to help somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
and JD, just for the record, it is Brown who is saying there is zero chance. Mine is a very slim percentage chance. It would take TCU and USC both losing and TCU getting embarrassed.
Yeah, and JD, I do think TCU loses this game. I feel really good about Kansas State. Now, whether or not they win the game by 7, 10, 14, who knows?
But I think most fans, unless you are a fan of TCU and USC, would like to see Michigan playing Alabama, Georgia playing Ohio State. Now, with a caveat that I would kind of like to see USC go up against that Georgia defense. That could be intriguing. But other than that, I think Alabama and Michigan and Georgia and Ohio State would be some really good games.
Yeah,
Right,
listen, obviously as a guy who grew up here in Alabama, I'd love to see Alabama in there. But if it's USC, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, or any combination of those four, those are four great brands, and it's going to be great. If TCU's in there, they've earned it, and it'll be fun to watch them play. And I will go into that semifinal day just like I did about 6 of their 12 Saturdays thinking they're going to lose. In fact, now make it 7 of 13 Saturdays that I go into this one thinking TCU is going to lose. I've done that 7 of 13 times this year.
Okay, since 2014, Mark Helfrich is probably the most random coach to make a college football playoff.
Well, Luke Fickell too, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think Luke Fickell's kind of established himself.
Well,
as
I'm
one
just
of the
saying
top 10
random
guys.
because it was Cincinnati. I mean, nobody thought
But
Cincinnati
if
would.
TCU closes the deal and Sonny Dykes gets in,
Pretty random.
I mean, you start to look at the other coaches behind him that have not gotten to a college football playoff.
Yes, that becomes very interesting. Our friends at the University of Montevallo, if your son or daughter are interested in a place to go to school, Montevallo is a great place to look at. 21 Division II, fully funded scholarship sports there. If your kids play in high school right now, maybe they want to continue that career at Montevallo. Great academics as well. Beautiful buildings going up. Theater department just recently built, multi-million-dollar business school, broadcasting school. Great place to check out for your son or daughter to go to school. If you're a junior or senior in high school, make the look now. Montevallo.edu, and schedule an in-person tour. Before we get to Tom Luginbill in our next segment, UAB is on the verge of hiring a new football coach, and this one is sort of coming out of nowhere a little bit. It is Trent Dilfer is the reports. Trent Dilfer. Brown, you've been following this UAB search for a while. And yesterday we were talking about the players who made a plea to keep Bryant Vincent, the interim coach, on as the head coach. And obviously things moving fast already behind the scenes before the players penned that letter. Trent Dilfer is the guy that everyone says is about to be named the head coach.
Yeah, I mean, this came out of nowhere to me. I got to be honest with you. And Scott showed me the Ross Dellinger report from last night. I had not heard Dilfer's name at all until yesterday afternoon. At all. Like, not even like, hey, named OH, and I would have laughed at it then.
I was told by a high school coach last night and my buddy Tony that, hey, you hear anything about Trent Dilfer? And about 30 minutes later, that thing started to cook a little bit.
It's
if you don't know Trent Dilfer where he is, he's at a high school outside of Nashville. David Lipscomb Academy, I believe it is. They played Thompson earlier this year. They're 12-0. They're on their way possibly to winning another Tennessee high school state championship. But, he's a high school coach and a former NFL Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there, but to call him just a high school coach, I think undersells it just a little bit.
Okay, he's also a former ESPN analyst.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. If I'm not mistaken, Bruce Feldman said he's basically taken over the Elite 11 quarterback count.
That's right.
That's kind of his to run. So this guy has been a quarterbacks coach, quarterbacks guru, and has been heavily involved in that. So he's not your average just a high school coach.
No, he's not. He is a name that would excite a lot of high school players, portal guys, because they know him from the Elite 11, but also he used to drop Dilfer dimes on ESPN. He's a name. I'm not going to put him up there with a Deion Sanders name, but he is of that realm of a name that will get a lot of attention from ESPN.
I mean, look, he's a guy that's won a Super Bowl. Was a great quarterback at Fresno State. He was an okay quarterback in the NFL.
He was a game manager that won a Super Bowl, but yeah.
Yeah, with one of the best defenses we've ever seen. This is out of absolute nowhere. Look, and he might end up being, what are some great high school coaches that ended up?
Art Briles.
Yeah, Art Briles. Hugh Freeze has done a really good
Gus
job.
Malzahn. Those guys had to start somewhere.
Could end up being one of those. He could be a Todd Dodge, though. He could be a Jerry Faust. Look, this thing could go either way. He does have a name. I think he does a weekly hit on the Cowherd Show, which would be good national pub for UAB.
If he keeps doing that kind of stuff, absolutely. Yeah. So later on, let's break down Trent Dilfer, the pros and cons, and how UAB fans are reacting to that. We'll do that. But we got Tom Luginbill standing by, setting up the weekend for college football, championship weekend. He'll give us a reaction to last night's committee and what we can look forward to this weekend on a championship Friday and Saturday. The show being brought to you in part by our friends right here at Ghost Energy Drinks. Ghost Energy Drinks, if you need a good pick-me-up on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday morning. Do we want to tease ahead? Ghost Energy
Luginbill coming up.
What a life!
Give me just like a 2-second blip of where he is right now. Tom Luginbill is coming up next. Stay with us. Yeah.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by Culver's. Holiday gift cards are now here. The perfect Christmas gift. For every $40 you spend in gift cards, you'll receive a free value basket. Pick up a Culver's gift card at the Culver's location nearest you.
Banking isn't just about your money, it's about you. It's about getting help with what you need when you need it. AmFirst was founded for members just like you, and they've been putting those members first since 1936. Putting you first means services that grow and change with the times to serve you better. Now, every bank has their own app, but that's just it. It's theirs, not yours. The AmFirst app was made for you, so it's easy to pay bills, deposit checks, or transfer money to friends and family from anywhere. You can even customize the app, which means you can personalize your dashboard, create usage alerts, and redeem points for rewards that will make you feel like the #1 priority you are. And you can do it all on your own time. So what are you waiting for? Get the app made for you from AmFirst. Visit any AmFirst location or amfirst.org today. That's amfirst.org. America's first federal credit union, federally insured by the NCUA. At Alfa Romeo of Birmingham, you can now drive the 2022 Alfa Romeo Giulia TI, the Italian sports sedan of your dreams, starting at $499 per month plus tax with $4,999 down, plus first payment and title due at delivery. Come experience the passion and performance of Alfa Romeo of Birmingham, 1837 Grants Mill Road, or alfaromeousa of Birmingham.com. Financial lease, 10,000 miles per year, WAC, MSRP, $51,490. Stock numbers Q0059, Q0068, or Q0074.
It's time to start thinking about employee holiday gifts. Consider getting your hardworking guys a pair of Red Wing boots. Each day, your employees are on the job site helping your company succeed, so reward them with comfort at its best. The Red Wing mobile shoe truck can visit your shop and fit your employees with a great selection of boots. Or Red Wing gift cards can be purchased at your local Red Wing store, available in all amounts. Whichever program you choose, your employees will appreciate the quality, service, and selection from Red Wing shoes, and they'll also be thankful they have such a great boss. Reward your employees this holiday season with Red Wing shoes.
The Alabama Head Injury Foundation strives to improve the quality of life for survivors of traumatic brain injury and for their families. Whether the injury is mild or severe, the life of the injured person and their family is changed forever. The impact can be both emotionally and financially devastating. AHIF provides the information to help clients and families understand the results of injury. AHIF helps access available resources and provides services and programs which meet the unique needs of individuals with traumatic brain injury as well as spinal cord injury in certain programs. Find out how you can help at ahif.org.
Want more of The Next Round? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Back with you on the next round as we keep rolling along today. Tom Luginbill standing by, part of our show today, as always, being brought to you by the wonderful folks at the Pants Store. The Pants Store can get you into the perfect game day gear, even though Lugs is out of gear right now. The Pants Store has 7 great locations: Crestline, Leeds, Trussville, Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, Hoover, and in Auburn. You can see everything at thepantsstore.com, panstore.com. Follow them on social media. Great gifts this holiday season: game day hats, all your Yeti accessories, sunglasses, game day polos from Antigua, Taylor and Mick, Johnny O and Gentile, and special game day wear for the female in your life, the wife, the daughter, the mom, whomever you want to buy for this holiday season. You can get it at the Pants Store, 7 locations, and online at panstore.com.
All right, ATIX brings us Lugs each week, 822-7382, AAATix.com. He is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, and as promised, last week in his hot tub to do this hit. What is up, Lugs? How are you?
How are we doing? Don't you love technology?
I do.
I can watch film in here. I can cut up film in here. I can enjoy nature. I can do your show. I mean, there's nothing you can't do in today's day and age with technology.
It's a veritable endless path of things you can do in that hot tub with technology. Yes.
If that hot tub was a time machine, what year would you go back to?
Oh, probably, look, I trimmed my lights. I got to turn my lights on, but they're not showing up. Oh, probably somewhere in the 80s, because I'm an 80s kid, and growing up in the 80s was the greatest decade to grow up in.
Well, hey, so you remember Rodney Dangerfield in the hot tub and back to school is a little different than you, right?
Yes, a little bit different. What was the great line? What was the great line in that movie? He goes, bring us a picture every 5 minutes until somebody passes out, then bring one every 10.
So good. Hey, before we get into the college football rankings, so we were just talking about Trent Dilfer. Looks like he's going to be UAB's next head coach. This came out of left field. I mean, none of us had any idea this was going to go down. What are your thoughts?
You know, it's interesting. I was telling Brownie, I got a great, although gross, Trent Dilfer story. So he was my recruiting host when I took my official visit to Fresno State in 1993. And we all know what takes place on recruiting visits and the fun that's had and some of the debauchery that may occur. So we happened to be at a TGI Fridays one evening during my 48-hour stay. And he's leaning against the bar and I'm finishing a drink. And he says, I said, "Hey, Trent, can you get me another one?" He says, "Sure, no problem." He hands me this bottle of beer. Well, I know it's not quite full. So, oh well. So I take it, I top it down without knowing that he had handed me his bottle of his tobacco spitter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And you can imagine the lasting effects that could have over the course of, almost 30 years since that point. So let's just say I've known Trent for a long time. And in some ways you don't want to know Trent. And listen, he's a smart, bright football guy, knows the quarterback position. I think a lot of teams now just seem to be kind of taking more risks, going off the radar. We've seen it be. He's coached I think 3 years now at Lipscomb Academy, maybe 4 if I'm not mistaken. But he's we've seen this before with a lot of good, smart guys that have come out of the high school ranks that have moved on and been very, very successful at the coaching ranks and got that brand new stadium there. So it'll be interesting to see what this experiment looks like in a few years.
ESPN's Tom Luginbill with us, courtesy of ATIX, AAATix.com, 822-7382 for all your basketball season tickets and bowl games coming up. He is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. The Auburn hire of Hugh Freeze. Let's do 2 separate things. Number one, your opinion of Hugh Freeze as an on-the-field coach, and then you follow recruiting very closely. He obviously did well, a little too well for some at Ole Miss. So what's Auburn getting between the stripes and on the recruiting trail?
Well, listen, I think they're getting a very, very good football coach that's won everywhere he's been. I think that's the one thing that you do have to acknowledge in all this, no matter whether it's been at Lambeth, whether it's been at Arkansas State, wherever it's been, he has won. He's been a successful play caller. He's been a successful recruiter. He's been a very successful X's and O's guy. I think he relates really well on the recruiting trail. He understands the dynamic of that conference. And maybe most importantly, guys, is all of the things that you could point out or scrutinize about Hugh Freeze, and particularly his history at Ole Miss, can be worked around now. There's no rules. There's no enforcement. There's no policing. You have this unbelievable collective endowment at Auburn. You have tremendous resources. You have a brand new football operations facility that's 25 years overdue. And you've got a coach that knows how to maximize value. And so, at the end of the day, I've been, because there's been a lot of criticism, and I understand it. There's been a lot of criticism. But if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty of this hire, Auburn cares more about winning than they care about any of the other stuff. Because if you win, winning cures all woes. Nobody will care about any of it. Now, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that morally that's where we all want to be. He's had to go through a significant image rehab or attempt to. Now he's got his opportunity of redemption. We'll see how it plays out. But all the resources are in place, particularly in today's climate, that would tell you this could be a very, very successful run.
Lane Kiffin signs, by the way, welcome to Topless Wednesday. Do not adjust your sets. Luginbill in the hot tub. You're not, your eyes are not messing with you. And if you're just on the audio platforms today, you're missing it. Lane Kiffin signs his new contract, $9 million a year, 6 years, gets an extra year on a roll-up at 7 years. Did Lane Kiffin burn any clout? Did he burn anything in Oxford during this Auburn search, do you think?
Doesn't look like it. I think if I was an Ole Miss fan, I'd be more concerned about, how the last portion of the fourth quarter of the Egg Bowl played out. I would be concerned about that. I think a lot of the Ole Miss fan base, whether they want to admit it or not, thought he was gone. The fact that he's not gone, that he was able to rework a contract, he was able to stay, hopefully get some things in that contract that he believes can help them compete with the Alabamas and the Georgias and the LSUs and the Floridas and even the Auburns for that matter. If you feel strongly about it, then I understand why he, made the stay. And I think the fan base should understand it. Now, I will say this. You're going to have to continue to win and elevate the program, beat some teams you're not supposed to beat some people in recruiting for high-profile players. Because I think at the end of the day, obviously he and the Ole Miss fan base want to be uber successful. They want to be a potential Atlanta participant for the SEC title game. But personally for Lane Kiffin, too, at his age, looking forward, if he continues to succeed, it's a heck of a lot easier to potentially be in line to get the Alabama job if you're the coach at Ole Miss and not Auburn.
You know, as a true freshman, there were ups and downs last year at Oklahoma for Caleb Williams. I had no idea he was going to be this good. Like, I had a feeling with Lincoln Riley and with some of the skill around him, he was going to be good in this offense. But watching him week in, week out, it's like he gets better. And some of the plays he makes, they're just incredible. The things he was doing against Notre Dame with his feet to avoid, pressure. The thing that does scare me, and I'm getting off on a tangent here, if they end up being the 4th seed and they play Georgia, that Georgia defensive line will kill that offensive line for USC.
This is Oklahoma, led by Lincoln Riley, during their college football playoff participation, in which, to your point, you got into the playoff and you couldn't win a game. And why couldn't you win a game? Because of the defensive side of the football and because of the trenches. That's what SC is right now. Only they may be worse on defense than some of those Oklahoma teams were, but they're even better than Kyler. They're better than Baker. All right. They're better than Jalen, at least from a collegiate perspective, at the quarterback position. He's a magician. I mean, guys, without him, I think that's a 7-5, 6-6 roster at best. And I hear a lot of SC fans pushing back on me when I have critique of the defense. There's virtually no NFL players on it. And folks will say, well, look, they've created all these turnovers. Yeah, but not all turnovers are created equal. That ball that Drew Pine laid on the ground was not a forced turnover. They handed him the football. Oregon State did the same thing. Stanford did the same thing. Fresno State did the same thing. And so, yeah, if you took some of those unforced turnovers, removed them, and you take 13 off the field, they're probably a 500 football team. So credit Lincoln Riley for the job he's done. They've put this team in position to vastly overcome and I think exceed expectations. And now we'll see what happens, because all eyes are on TCU and SC as it relates to Ohio State, as it relates to potential Alabama, as it relates to potentially, Tennessee. This week's very, very important for those two teams.
Since I'm wearing the black hat today, I'll go ahead and try to play the devil's advocate here. You don't think Tui Tuipulotu, do you think he's an NFL guy?
And Kalen Brooks. He and Kalen Brooks are the two guys.
Okay.
And potentially, if he stays healthy, but he's been hurt all year, Eric Gentry, the Arizona State transfer, is the other one.
He's got to put some weight on, though.
Yeah, he's 6'6". He's an animal of a player, but he's 205 pounds. If he gets bigger, he has first-round potential. But aside from that, they're too deep is not what we've become accustomed to seeing from an SC football team.
I don't want to repeat your question. What player did you just ask Luginbill about?
Tuli.
Tuipulotu.
Tuipulotu.
The guy in the hot tub says you're saying it wrong. Yeah, ESPN's
I just had them a few weeks ago.
If I just go Tuli, would you have known who I was talking about?
Yes, he's Luginbill.
That's what they call him, actually, because nobody else can say it either.
Yeah. ESPN's Todd Luginbill for a few more moments from his hot tub. He is presented by ATIX 822-7382, AAATIX.com. Lugs is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Lord knows we've picked against TCU all year long, and Lord knows we've been wrong 12 times now. But a lot of people feel like Kansas State finally is the team that gets them. How do you see this game?
I don't know, man. It's virtually a home game, right? It's 20 minutes from Fort Worth. You got hysteria, mania going on there with a 12-0 TCU team. And one of the reasons why I like TCU in this match, two reasons. Number one, and I think I've said this with you guys before, there's not an in-game environment or scenario that they haven't had to face and master, right? Whether it's come from behind, whether it's win in overtime, double overtime, beat ranked opponents on the road. I'm a huge believer that if you're going to be a championship team, you've got to win road games and you've got to win one-position games. That's what this team thrives on. I think the second reason why I like them is they remind me an awful lot. They don't have this type of player at quarterback, although he's a darn good player. They remind me of 2010 Auburn in the sense that sometimes you have one of those years where everything you need to happen for you happens. Some of the breaks you make, some bounces go your way, and the stars align, and you just have a magical season. And I think TCU's having one of those. I like TCU in this game. I'll say this, though. If they lose, I don't think they should be outside of the top four. I don't think that they should be punished for playing the extra game versus a ranked opponent versus somebody they've already beaten, while other teams that are in the discussion for whatever reason are sitting at home, not playing right now, and not in a championship game.
I don't necessarily disagree with
Well,
you.
let me ask you this, though. The only thing I would say, and look, if it was a Texas uniform, there would be no debate. We know they would be in.
Correct. Brand matters.
But if TCU was to, and we remember this when it was Adrian Martinez to Will Howard, they were up 18. If they won this game by 21, do you have a different opinion?
Yeah, potentially. I think it's ugly. It's kind of like asking that question if the Ohio State-Michigan game had gone down to the final series and there hadn't been big explosive plays that Ohio State had given up and all those sorts of things. So I can see that. I can see that why that would be bothersome. But I got to be honest with you guys. Off of last night's determination of what they did with Tennessee and Alabama, I think the committee took a real credibility hit last night, because essentially what you've done is you've taken all of that quote-unquote criteria or items to utilize to help you make a better decision on who you'd put above so-and-so. They used none of it. They took a Hendon Hooker injury and an Alabama team that they feel like if they got into the playoff, they'd have a much better chance at winning a playoff game than Tennessee would, and took all the head-to-head, common opponents, best wins, most wins versus top 25, strength of schedule. They threw it all out the window. And by the way, all of those things favor Tennessee.
Yeah.
But they are not the same team without Hendon Hooker.
I don't know
They are not.
Well, I mean, everybody says that, but we've seen one game where they scored 52 points, 56 points.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and listen, we saw them in 2014 not have a problem with Ohio State's third quarterback.
Yeah. It's just
right?
those,
But that player did play in the Big Ten championship game.
It's just those assumptions, though, that would worry me about this committee, is we assume they're a different team without Hendon Hooker. I assume that too,
know.
But you don't know.
Yeah.
They've played one game without him, and they scored 56 points. So why do we make that assumption? Why, Jim? Why do you make that assumption?
But they did it. They did it.
I know.
And they threw all the other stuff out the window. And on our Sunday radio show on Sirius XM, we got a lot of pushback from fans about, well, they've got to consider this stuff. And I remind them, no, they don't. There's only one mandate from the College Football Playoff Committee. That's to choose the 4 best teams. None of those other, what do you want to call them, data points or sets of criteria, none of those are mandated. They do not tell a single person on that committee in a head-to-head matchup, and it's close, you have to take the team that won. They don't tell them that. So you don't really have anything mandated except for choosing the top 4 teams. And if for you that's an eye test, if for you that's an injury, then that's acceptable under their guidelines.
Yeah, and you know why I do it, Brown?
Why, Jim?
Because I dot my I's and cross my T's, and I've got 2 I's, and I don't have a blocked T, and I've seen that game. I know what would happen if Hendon Hooker's not playing.
What, the Bama-Tennessee game?
Bama would win that game.
Okay.
Without Hendon Hooker.
They would absolutely win the game. And quite honestly, of the other people in the field of the college football playoff, wouldn't you feel uber confident having a team that's been there, done that, won playoff games, won championship games, having success in that field, even if it's against Michigan, even if it's against SC, even if it's against TCU, and even if it's against Georgia?
Yeah, but it's also a ratings boom when Alabama loses. Having Alabama getting beat brings people to watch television, so it would be better for the ratings to have Alabama getting beat instead of TCU getting beat.
No question. But they say that's not part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
He is ESPN's Tom Luginbill from the Hot Tub. Lugs, thank you. Have a great week.
See ya, boys. Have a good one.
All right, buddy. Go soak. Lugs on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, presented by AATIX, AAATIX.com, 822-7382. I also believe Alabama would beat TCU. I truly believe that. Alabama would beat TCU.
Yeah. 22 minutes, by the way, we did. There may have been shrinkage involved in that interview, but it wasn't time. We went deep on the interview.
Yeah, look, any game situation, TCU could beat Bama, USC could beat Bama. Yeah. I agree with you. I think they play those games. I think Bama wins 7 or 8 out of 10 against TCU.
But at some point, we're going to have standards.
Right. I mean, Alabama doesn't deserve to get in.
They don't.
And the Pac-12 is a really good conference this year. I mean, not elite teams, but all B teams. When you start to look around and you look at Utah and Washington and Oregon State and UCLA, I mean, it's a good league.
Yeah, it's a really good league. Entertaining football this year, and we will have an entertaining playoff, whichever 4 teams are in there. We feel like there's a path for Ohio State if there is a loss this weekend. Alabama's percentage goes from maybe 5% to 1% to 0% along the board here as we move forward. Don't forget Bud Light Game Night tomorrow night, where it's Soho Social. That is in Homewood. right there next to City Hall. If you've ever been to downtown Homewood, it's a great location. Soho Social in Homewood, Bud Light game night coming up. And our friends at Hemphill will bring the lock to you later on. Lance will send that out at the Lance Taylor. Friends at Hemphill, Adam, Chad, and that team there. There's fantastic people, right? They fix it right, they fix it the first time, and the best part is they fix it at a fair price. Anytime you're dealing with plumbing, cooling, or heating, sometimes you can get jacked around by the price, right? That does not happen with Hemphill, Adam, Chad, and the team right there. They fix it at a fair price. For all your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name Birmingham's trusted since 1954. Hemphill Services, 205-229-2090, 229-2090, or just remember the name Hemphill.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by Culver's. Holiday gift cards are now here. The perfect Christmas gift. For every $40 you spend in gift cards, you'll receive a free value basket. Pick up a Culver's gift card at the Culver's location nearest you.
Now is the time to make your kids happy with a playground from Backyard Adventures. Order now and you're still guaranteed a Christmas delivery. Just go to backyardalabama.com. That's backyardalabama.com. On the website, you can see some brand new forts that are available. Plus, the always popular display sale is underway now. Just call 205-408-4FUN. That's 205-408-4386 or go to backyardalabama.com. As always with Backyard Adventures, you get quality 100% cedar with lifetime warranties, and they take care of their customers from start to finish. That means they completely set up the playground. You don't have to do anything. They'll do the landscaping to make it fit into your backyard. They'll do a maintenance program every year for you to keep it looking brand new. And when it's time for the playset to go, they'll come and take it down for you too. Learn about the display sale and see everything you need online at backyardalabama.com or call them up 205-408-4FUN for Backyard Adventures.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. You're not average, and the New Balance Birmingham store has the shoes and apparel to perfectly match your unaverage self. If we were all shaped the same and had the same level of fitness, and if we all walked and ran exactly alike, well, then I guess an average shoe store selling average shoes would be just fine. But you deserve better. At the New Balance Birmingham store, our specialists will match you with a custom pair of New Balance shoes that fit you perfectly. Come see us at the New Balance Birmingham store. Your feet will thank you.
The Next Round store is live and loaded. Check out the latest logo t-shirts and hoodies. Get your favorite team colors, the Next Round flag shirt, or grab the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest t-shirts. Go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
ERA King has the new Guaranteed Move program, which lets you compare instant offers with open market offers so you can choose how and when to sell your home. You can close with a quick cash offer, no showings, and no open houses, or you can explore multiple offers through a traditional listing. Available only through ERA King. Guaranteed Move puts you in control. Visit movewithking.com or text MOVE to 35620. To learn more, that's MOVE, M-O-V-E, to 35620.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Do you want to have the experience of a lifetime and help a great charity at the same time? If you've ever dreamed of taking a few laps around Talladega Superspeedway, now is your chance. Join us on Saturday, December 3rd from 9 to 1 for track laps for charity. For only $50, you can climb behind the wheel of your own vehicle and take 3 laps around Talladega Superspeedway. If you don't want to take the drive, you can still come out and tour the Talladega Garage experience for free. All proceeds will benefit Toys for Tots. That's Saturday, December 3rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Back with you on the next round. LT has some thoughts on Trent Dilfer, and we all do. No official announcement from UAB, but we will pass that along to you. Thompson playing Auburn tonight, part of the kickoff weekend for the Championship 7 down in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Our boy Lunsford will be on the call with Jerry Young, part of our Double Down Media podcast teams up here. They do next round preps all season long. They'll be on the call tonight as Thompson tries to win another state championship. I would put them as a slight underdog. Is that a fair statement? Is that a fair statement? Slight underdog, Thompson tonight. Auburn probably minus 3.5.
Thompson minus 9.5.
Thompson minus 9.5.
Yeah, Lunsford puts lines on all these games.
Wow. So
how good is Harson's kid?
He's the backup, so not that good.
It's something you never know when QB2 is important. So
that's right.
I mean, he has played this season and played okay, but he is the backup.
One injury
Clyde
away.
Pittman's the starter.
All right. So remember, as you watch it tonight, turn it down and listen to our man Jerry Young and Lunsford on the call if you're a Thompson fan. Where will you be tonight?
I will be at Odie's. Rock starts Wednesday night, that means.
Trivia.
Odie's Team Trivia, we do it every Wednesday night. Come join us. Get there a little early. Enjoy some of the great food from Rodney Davis. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, including that Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets. You can come out, watch some college hoops, hang out with us. It's a Birmingham institution. Again, if you've never been before, you need to come join us. Great time. Odie's Team Trivia tonight, Odie's Tavern, Crestline Village.
Okay, so later today, UAB is expected to announce Trent Dilfer as the new head coach. Just your initial reaction. I know, LT, you've got some thoughts, and Brownie, give me yours first.
Well, look, I mean, Trent Dilfer obviously knows a lot of football, and he's done a really good job at Lipscomb in his 4th year right now. But, taking it the next level, I mean, you got to give these guys some opportunities because there's a lot of really good high school coaches that have ended up being great coaches at the next level. I'm just a little surprised where UAB football is right now. And Dilfer is a name, but, UAB's set probably to pay somebody $2.5 million going into the American. And I just think you could get more of a proven commodity than Trent Dilfer.
They were paying Clark somewhere about $1.8 million, I think it was, when he retired. I don't know, obviously, what Coach Vincent was getting. So to your point, with more American money, you could probably pay a little bit more.
And if I'm Coach Vincent, look, and not that he went lights out this year at 6-6, but I think he did some good things, and they were really close on the brink outside of that LSU game to having a really good season and possibly competing to win CUSA. And, in year one, I think it was a transitional year, a little difficult on Coach Vincent. I don't know. If I'm Brian Vincent, I feel a little like it's a slap in the face.
It is, probably. I'm sure he feels that way because you're hiring what is viewed as, even though I told you earlier he's more than just a high school coach, but he's viewed as a high school coach, right?
But if this was Trent Rawlings.
If it were Trent Rawlings, he's probably not running the Elite 11 camp. He's probably not doing some of the things he's done. So it's kind of hard.
Yeah, no.
I know what you're saying, though, Lance. I completely understand what you're saying. You're not just hiring this guy based on his name. He's done some things, but also the reason you're hiring a high school coach is because of who he is. And I get all of that. It is an outside-the-box hire. It's a gamble. Guy's never been a college coach before. He's never recruited. Obviously, I think he knows talent, knows how to develop quarterbacks, knows how to evaluate quarterbacks, or else he wouldn't be doing that, right? So, it's got some positives. This is a gamble by UAB. There's no doubt, especially as Lance said, the kind of money you could pay, you could easily draw a coordinator from a big school. I think you could draw a Garrett Riley if you wanted to. I think you could convince him to do that. Jeff Grimes from Baylor. I think Jeff Grimes would probably take that job. I think there were some guys whose names you would recognize that would take this job.
Well,
right
the one
now.
I keep hanging on, and I'm hoping he's back in the SEC as an offensive coordinator, is Tom Herman. Do you think Tom Herman, who's with the CBS Sports Network now, would have had an interest in a job at UAB?
Yeah, I do. I think Tom Herman is a guy you could hire. Now, I'm not saying he'd be better than Trent Dilfer. I don't know. I don't know with Tom Herman. But yes, Tom Herman is, I've always thought he's a touch overrated as a head coach, but I think he's a guy that would take that job.
But in this spot, I think Tom Herman's one of those guys that might be able to do more with less. And, once he got the Texas job, which a lot of people have failed at that job, he did a good job at Houston.
Way to Wellness, our friends at Way to Wellness will help you lose weight. Mark's got a name I want you guys to react to. Clay Travis at the top of the hour. But Way to Wellness wants to get you in shape, but also your cholesterol, your blood pressure. A lot of you deal with that, right? I've dealt with that. Way to Wellness literally saved my life, getting my blood pressure back in line, and they can do that for you as well with an easy plan that they put together, and it's different for everybody, not a cookie-cutter plan. They design a plan specifically for you. Like I still eat whatever I want for lunch, whatever I want for dinner, my lunch, my dinner, and I use some of their protein bars to supplement around the day. You can get a plan like that or something that fits you with no contract, no sign-up fee, and no financial obligation, a free consultation from Leslie and her board-certified team. Just check them out at planforme.com, planforme.com. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Mark asked the question, what about Deion Sanders? Deion Sanders?
I would say, and this is some conjecture on my part and some educated opinion on my part, that there, I think, was at least some interest for UAB to talk to him. Now, I'm not saying UAB would have 100% hired him. This is the educated opinion part, by the way, the conjecture coming up. The educated opinion is I think there was desire for UAB. I think they really wanted to try to talk to Deion and try to gauge his interest in this job. Now, the conjecture is I think Deion realized pretty early in this season he was going to have bigger job offers than UAB.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
But if you're going to hire Trent Dilfer, you would hire Deion Sanders. I mean, you think about I think the majority of Auburn fans wanted Deion as their number one choice.
Right.
So if UAB could get Deion, you would take Deion. I don't think Deion would even entertain the job.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe a year ago, like when Coach Clark, if he had retired at the end of last season, you might could have pulled Deion. But I think Deion realized he's going to be in for bigger jobs. Now, do you consider South Florida a bigger job than UAB? I mean, historically it has been.
Probably.
Do you consider Colorado a bigger job than UAB? I mean, historically it has been. I don't know that it's that much better now.
Yeah, one's in a Power 5 conference, USF, and UAB are about to be in the same conference, right?
Yeah. And Colorado's in a Power 5 conference, but it's a dead-end job. Now, primetime could change that. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting conversation about UAB. We'll wait for the official announcement and introduction a little bit later on today down on the south side. As Darren points out, UAB shut its football program down, and postseason basketball was a distant memory less than a decade ago. Now, Andy Kennedy has revitalized basketball, and Trent Dilfer is about to be the head football coach of another bowl-bound team. Amazing turnaround on the south side. Darren, thank you for that. When we come back, we'll talk to Clay Travis about everything going on in the sports world, including the hiring of Hugh Freeze at Auburn. Show being brought to you in part today by our friends at MyBookie.
MyBookie.ag. Dunaway, use promo code NEXTROUND. When you go to MyBookie.ag, get signed up, and you can get a bonus. A deposit of $500 or more, you can claim up to a $200 bonus. But any deposit over $50 gets you in line for some sort of bonus, potentially. Just use promo code NEXTROUND to see what you get. That bonus goes in your account, and you can get it, access to it, use it for betting the games very, very quickly and cash out quickly as well. Experience sports in a whole new light. Make this season a winning one when you go to MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. That is MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, you know why we're here. The football season is back! Woo! And since that's too amazing to miss a single second's worth, Pepsi is officially giving you permission to always put football first. Like, maybe those in-laws are back in town. Well, better hope they're football fans because your Sunday is completely booked. Long story short, crack open a Pepsi and don't let anything get between you and your football watching. With love, Pepsi, made for football watching. That's what I like.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Don't let a roof problem disrupt your football Saturday or Sunday. Call Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. Locally owned at 205-542-3531. Greg wants to give you a free no-cost inspection. Free, no cost, no obligation. 205-542-3531. He can also pressure wash your metal roofing. It's easy to see why his company's so successful. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, and insurance companies trust him. You should too. 205-542-3531 or just look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com. Vulcan Tire and Automotive is hiring. If you want to take advantage of joining in with a local growing company in the automotive service industry, this is the opportunity for you. Hiring oil and tire technicians and more experienced mechanics. If you've got the talent and the desire, there is a spot for you at Vulcan Tire and Auto. Stop by one of their 4 locations and the manager on site can walk you through the pay scale, great benefits, and flexible work schedule. Get paid to build your future in the industry. Moody, Trustful, Hoover, and Gardendale, VulcanTireandAuto.com.
Start your day online at nextroundlive.com. Get all the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. And it's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Stay up to date with the Next Round on the website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos from the show, plus podcasts like The Mystery Fifth Hour, Bama and Bourbon, Last Call, and others from our Double Down Media podcast family. You can start your day with the latest college football stories, plus easy to listen to hour-by-hour downloads of the live show. NextRoundLive.com, a great way to stream the show live or shop in the Next Round store. Make NextRoundLive.com your homepage. That's NextRoundLive.com.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
The NFL playoffs are just around the corner and every game matters. Join us on the Next Round and Pepsi every Thursday as we preview the upcoming big games in the NFL weekend. Pepsi and the NFL, a perfect match for your weekend.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Man, we're looking forward to tomorrow night. Soho Social, come hang out with us. We'll talk a little football and a little basketball, a little food, a little movies, whatever you want to talk about. Thursday night, Bud Light game night, Soho Social, 5 to 7 Central Time in Homewood, just outside of Birmingham if you're in the area. Soho Social coming up. Great place for food and drink as well. And we'll be enjoying specials on our friends from Bud Light. So come hang out 5 to 7 Soho Social. Hour number 2 starts now. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar, Forrester, and Lunsford. The usual crew here. Taylor Korn is handling everything social media there. You can go hang out with her on our platforms on Instagram and also on Twitter, Facebook, and everywhere else. You get the Next Round at Next Round Live, at Next Round Live. Thanks for being with us live on this Wednesday. We'll catch up with Clay Travis a little bit later on. And then John Sumrall, Troy's head coach, Todd Fuhrman, later in the show as well. But part of the show being brought to you by our friends at the Floribama. I had forgotten to tell my wife that I was going to be out of town next week.
Bet she didn't care.
She did. She's like, hey, don't forget, next Friday night is our staff Christmas party at church, and you've missed it the last couple of years. They're really excited you're going to be able to make it this year. That you're not going to be in Atlanta.
Another bullet dodged.
They were. This is actually we actually moved it from blah 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 off of the SEC championship weekend.
No, she's just making you feel bad there.
And then I had to tell her. Guess what? Well, we're
going to be broadcasting live from the Floribama on Friday, next Friday. So we leave a week from tomorrow after Bud Light game night. Look, the most famous beach bar in the country is the Floribama Lounge. It's got numerous annual events during the year, including Army, Navy. So excited about this. Our buddy Steve Powers has hooked us up. We're going to be in the main room broadcasting Friday afternoon. Come join us. And then again, Saturday morning, specialty show 11:30 to 1. There's all kind of events, beach concerts, fishing rodeos, chili cook-offs, bulls on the beach, marathons, much more. And don't forget about the great food, not only right there at the Bama, but also across the street, the Old River Grill where you can watch all the games, the Yacht Club where I ate 7 times in 1 week. It's just a great place.
Honest to goodness, Lance, right now I'm trying to do a cleanse leading up to next Friday because of the bushwhackers and the food we're going to eat.
You know what cracks me up is your usage of a paper calendar, but you do not use the phone calendar. It just cracks me up.
Oh, I use it.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You didn't have it in there for Maggie to see.
Oh, she doesn't see it.
You don't have a family calendar?
Well, I don't want her to know where I am.
Yeah, you're in so many exotic places. Jim's upstairs again.
Jim's downstairs.
He's at walk-ons.
Jim's on the air.
He's
for
on the golf
hours.
course.
Do you do Life? You don't have kids at home, so you probably don't. Do you do Life 360?
Oh, the 3 parts of our family have always used Life 360.
And you don't?
I've never been a part of that. I've never been part of Life 360.
That's sketchy, Dunaway.
It's not sketchy.
It is sketchy. You don't want your
Brown,
wife
they've
to know
got
where
this
you
thing
are.
figured out. Look, he pays the bills. We let him do his own thing.
I pay the bills. I don't have to be anywhere.
Anyway, come join us for Bama next week. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, if we had a 12-team playoff after what we saw last night, here's the way it would look. It's so much fun when we get to this, and I'll give you the sad part about this in a second, but here is the way it would look if we had a 12-team playoff. Look at those games. We've got Clemson and Penn State in I guess we won't call them a play-in game, but Clemson and Penn State in a first-round game in Happy Valley.
Yep.
Ohio State hosting Tulane there at the Shoe. K-State at Tennessee. Bama playing host
to Utah
there. Fantastic. Winners advance on. That 12-team playoff looks good. Some news about that 12-team playoff and when it will happen a little bit later on. Part of our show being brought to you by our friends at Wayne's, and that'll get us to our friend Clay Travis.
That's right. Wayne's is 866-WAYNES-1 in Environment. They were at my house yesterday treating my yard so that this spring and summer my yard is going to look the best it can. The fall shutdown season is when you take care of that. Get the proper nutrients in the soil, the pre-emergence in the soil, and the root system. Wayne's was doing that for me yesterday with Envirolawn. They can do it for you. 866-WAYNES-1, 866-WAYNES, and the number 1, use code TNR. We'll pay for the first month. 12 months for the price of 11 with code TNR on Envirolawn when you call 866-WAYNES-1. Clay Travis with us, the founder of Outkick. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What's up, Clay? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing awesome. Thanks a lot. The Auburn hire of Hugh Freeze does what for you as an SEC fan?
I think it's a good hire. I don't think he's going to fall flat on his face. We've talked about these hires for years and years. I think you have to think in terms of ceilings and floors, and I think the floor is very high. Certainly based on what he did at Ole Miss and what he did at Liberty, the ceiling should be fairly high too. It'll take a little bit of time, I think, to get that Auburn offense up to speed, but I think he'll do well. So I like the hire. I thought it made complete sense.
I always thought Hugh Freeze should be target number 1 for Auburn, and I think it's a great fit. Interesting, though, we just found out, within the last 12 to 14 hours that Trent Dilfer more than likely is going to be UAB's new coach. I know you know Trent from the Nashville area. Are you a little surprised UAB goes this direction, and what do you think about the hire?
I think it's a pretty good hire, too. I think there are a lot of people who are starting to be willing to look outside the traditional, hey, this guy was an offensive or defensive coordinator for a successful coach, which has typically been the way that a UAB a lot of times would hire in the past. Trent Dilfer has obviously been doing the Elite 11 quarterback training for a long time, and so he's really plugged in terms of being able to have access to all the best quarterbacks in the country. And the program that he's built at Lipscomb is super elite. They are, if not the best, one of the best programs in the state of Tennessee. And they play tomorrow to win their second straight state championship, I believe. And given, his bona fides in the NFL and how well known he is from having done television, I think it's a heck of a hire for UAB. I think he'll be really good with the quarterback position. He's been running a program at Lipscomb that was no good and turned into a state championship caliber performer. I think he's a really good dude. I think he will play well in Birmingham and in southern markets for recruiting, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
Well, Lipscomb High School is pissed. They have beat UAB to the punch because, as Clay said, they play for the championship tomorrow night in Chattanooga, I believe, Clay. And he's not going to coach in that game. And
really?
Yes. The school announced a few moments ago, Coach Trent Dilfer, this is from 24/7 Sports. Coach Trent Dilfer met with the members of the team, told them he's stepping down. Later today, the University of Alabama Birmingham is officially announcing the appointment of Coach Dilfer as the head coach of the UAB Blazers. The timing of this release is not ideal with the Division IIA state championship game tomorrow.
So he's not going to coach in the game?
He's not coaching in the game.
Well, that's bull crap there.
Well, that's
yeah,
what...
that surprises me a lot that he's not coaching in the game. But
that is clear eyes, black heart right there. Come on, dude.
Clay, it sounds like you cut off your nose to spite your face. You're pissed he's leaving, but now you're going to put your team at a potential disadvantage in the biggest game they'll play all year. Why would you do that?
So is it a school choice?
It sounds like it. I don't know.
It sounds like a really weird choice. First of all, I don't know how you can be upset if a high school coach leaves to take over a college football program. Let's start there.
And a program that's going to the American.
Yeah. But let's be fair. The Tennessean, the newspaper there in Nashville, is reporting that he is going to coach in the game. He's going to coach in the game.
Well, but this is from the AD.
Yeah. Well, we'll see which one's right. I would want to coach in the game.
This is my backyard, right? Like Trent Dilfer lives down the street from me, and he also, this rivalry game is between two Nashville area private schools, right? So Christ Pres, CPA, and Lipscomb has become a really big rivalry because Christ Pres, who had won a ton, CPA had won a ton of state championships or had become the state championship caliber winner there. And then Dilfer came in, built up a winner, and these guys have played in the state championship game several years in the past. Ingle Martin, you guys may remember Ingle Martin.
Yeah.
From he was a quarterback, obviously, for Florida, and then he went to Furman, and then he played in the NFL for a few years. He's the quarterback. He's the coach of that team. So you've got two different NFL former head coaches who've been going head to head for the past several years, and so. I don't know the specifics about what exactly is going on there, but if you're saying the AD has said he's not going to coach, that's pretty wild.
Well, apparently his statement was too vague, so now everybody is going back to him, and it does look like he will coach. But the statement made it sound like he had stepped down immediately.
Yeah, that seemed weird to me that you wouldn't want your head coach to coach in the state championship game tomorrow. I'm sure they would have preferred this news come out Friday as opposed to Wednesday or Tuesday. I think it broke last night, at least the idea that it was going to happen. But it doesn't surprise me. I've thought for a while that somebody would come after Trent Dilfer based on the success he's had in building a program there, and certainly he's well known from the quarterback ranks for a long time. In fact, he was Tua's primary quarterback instructor coming into the NFL, and you guys may remember. That was back in whatever it was when Tua was coming off the broken hip, they did the private workout. Remember, Tua wasn't able to do the combine and wasn't able to travel because of COVID. So they filmed a private workout here in Nashville for Tua, where he had been training. Jerry Jeudy was there. There were several receivers that were at that workout. But anyway, that was Trent Dilfer who was working to get Tua ready for the NFL.
College football rankings come out last night. Tennessee 7, Alabama 6. Identical records. Tennessee wins the head-to-head. Just hypothetically, let's say TCU gets beat by 14 plus, USC loses, Alabama gets in. How furious are Tennessee fans going to be?
Pretty furious, I think. I first of all, I don't think Alabama has any chance to get in because I think TCU's in. And I even think there's going to be an argument about if USC were to lose a close game on Friday against Utah, about Ohio State getting in over them, because it's one thing to me to reward a team that wins a conference championship. But if you're saying to me right now, hey, the 4 best teams are Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and USC in that order, why does a team that didn't even make its conference championship deserve to get in if one of those teams loses because they're already in right now? It's like, this is my big thing with conference championship games in the first place. I don't think division should exist. I've been on that bandwagon for a long time. But I also think when we're expanding to 12 in the playoff, the conference championship games make less and less sense. Arguably, none of them matter. I mean, we play the full season to know who the best teams are in every major conference. And I feel like we know, right? That's why we played the whole season. So I'm anti-conference title games in general. But to me, Tennessee should be above Alabama. And I think if you had the exact same resume and it was Arkansas, I think there's zero doubt that Tennessee would be ranked above Arkansas. I think this is Alabama's brand getting them a ranking, frankly, that they don't. Look, Alabama would be 4th in the SEC if you were, ranking based on traditional tie-break scenarios. And so the idea that they would be above Tennessee. Now, I could understand it if there was an out-of-conference loss or if Alabama had an incredible out-of-conference win, or if they weren't side-by-side in the rankings, right? Like if there's 4 or 5 teams in between them. But when you're ranking them, as the committee did, Ohio State's 5, okay, let's think about who 6 is, and the 2 options for 6 are Alabama and Tennessee. I don't see any reason why Tennessee is not above Alabama.
All right, he is Clay Travis, Outkick founder. You can follow him on Twitter at Clay Travis. See him on Fox Sports. Clay, thank you for the time. Have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Clay. Moving a day for us due to the Hugh Freeze announcement yesterday. We appreciate that. Clay on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
I've just noticed over the years that we always will see you next Tuesday with Clay. That's the first time I've ever realized that.
I think I said see you next week if you'll go back and listen.
I think you said Tuesday for the first time ever. I don't think we've ever, ever dawned on me. It's always see you next Tuesday, Clay.
No. I think that's because next week will be on Tuesday, not on Wednesday.
So he's joining us next Tuesday.
He's always on Tuesday.
He's always on
He just
Tuesday.
had to move because of Hugh Freeze yesterday.
What's happening?
Dunaway wasn't listening to the whole sentence. Hey, this Tunisia, they just scored on France. Does this matter? I don't think.
I think France is in.
France is in, I think.
France is Georgia. They're in.
Yeah, they don't even have to win their championship game. Okay, gotcha.
Hey, tell me, though,
So no big deal.
The knockout round that we're coming into, we don't have any more stupid ties, do we?
Not when we get to the knockout. No.
Extra time and then PKs.
Extra time and
Okay,
PKs.
good.
And by the way, developing news on that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. FIFA yesterday said once this World Cup is over, they will look at, starting with the 2026 World Cup, of using extra time and shootouts to eliminate ties in the group play as well.
So no draws at all, huh?
Yeah. Move away from draws
Like
altogether.
We've been doing this for, 100 years?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That Taylor Telouin You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, ESPN analyst, former USA player. He's very outspoken, good in all sports, but especially soccer.
Yeah, I think he's really good. But I was listening to him this morning, and he thinks it's a really good matchup with the Netherlands. You know, they're a minus 380 favorite, but he talks about the athleticism and how they like to play keep away, and there's going to be some one-on-one opportunities for the United States.
How's our guy that falls down all the time? Is he going to play?
Pulisic said he will be there Saturday.
Okay, good.
Hey, if he didn't get hit in the balls, that was embarrassing.
He has a abdominal strain.
Like it got knee.
And he had to go to how bad do you have to be to go to a Qatarian hospital to get x-rayed and checked out?
Qatarian?
Is that the word?
I really don't know.
I'll take it.
It just sounded so futuristic.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. I would imagine that their x-ray machines are made of gold. They're basically the Jim
gold.
Harbaugh toilet of x-ray machines.
Put some oil in him, he's fine. We got all that we want.
But he had to go to the Qatarian hospital.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me clean up the mess I made there. Well, I didn't make it. 24/7 Sports made it.
Okay. Brownie cleaning up a mess.
Brought to you by
our friends at Precision Sports, who will be working hard to get our man Pulisic back into action on Saturday.
Yeah, it might take a miracle based on what I saw him rolling around. But 'tis the season to make your plans to get moving in 2023. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, they encourage you to start out 2023 with less pain. Schedule any elective orthopedic procedures you've been putting off. Make an appointment. Start saving today. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/providers.
Clean it up, Brownie.
So 24. I will admit, I will defend 24/7 Sports here. Is the release? If you read it in the mindset of he's not coaching, it sounded like he's not coaching. If you read it in the mindset of he is, it sounds like he is. They weren't abundantly clear that he would coach. 24/7 read into it that he would not coach in the game. The Tennessean has gone back and confirmed that he will coach in the state championship game. Everybody involved, I think, had planned on this coming out Friday or Thursday, whenever the day after the game. And because it leaked out last night, they've had to address it now.
Yeah, I think UAB is planning a news conference later today.
Well, according to the Lipscomb athletic director, they are.
Yeah.
That's according to the high school athletic director.
According to my email, I think they have a news conference later today in the green and gold room.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's unfortunate. You hate it, but, man, these coaching things, they get messy. I mean, when you're taking a job like this, like you Freeze was, it got messy for him. Got super messy for Lane Kiffin, and he didn't even get the job.
Yeah, but this is different. I mean, like Clay said, we're going from high school to a Division I team that's going to be in the American. I mean, if you're Lipscomb, you've got to be super excited for Trent Dilfer. I mean, you hate to lose him, but at the same time, I mean,
I also hate that my biggest game of the year. I mean, my kids have worked their whole life for this, and now
my kid's only chance to play in a state championship game.
So I get it. If I'm a dad, I'm excited for the guy, but also, this is my kid's biggest moment. He's not going to go play college football. This is it for him. He's about to have to go to an Ivy League school, get an education. This is his only chance to win a championship.
And someday, Trent Dilfer may be working for my son again, and he's going to remember this.
That's right. I mean, my son will handle all his investments later on, and he'll be fine with that.
Or he'll own the team that he's coaching for.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So interesting news there, but Brown cleaning up the controversy that the negative media instantly jumped on. Deion Sanders is a part of an interesting report from Kevin O'Donnell, Fox 13. I'll tell you what that is. Appreciate tip of the cap to Tripp there for passing that along to us from Kevin O'Donnell. What Deion Sanders is saying about his next possible move, according to a report, and a lot more on the coaching carousel when we come back. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Cowan Equipment. Cowan Equipment, by the way, will hook you up not only with future rentals, but also they'll hook you up with a poll question at Next Round Live. Tell us about Cowan.
Yeah, Cowan Equipment, proud to partner with the Next Round on our venture here. Would love the opportunity to partner with your company for your heavy equipment needs. Visit us. Go to Cowan.com to find out more about how we can be your heavy equipment solution, from rental and new equipment sales to superior service and parts. Again, for more information, Cowan.com.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter @RockstarBHM.
Culver's could have only started in Wisconsin.
Hi, welcome to Culver's.
Just ask our team member Sarah.
When you order a Culver's Butterburger, you're never just a customer. You're a guest in our home. It's why we cook each Butterburger to order just for you, right down to getting the perfect sear on the beef. That extra care may be a small town thing, but it's big time important to us.
Let us serve you with a smile that stretches from our hometown to yours. Welcome to Delicious.
At Alfa Romeo of Birmingham, you can now drive the 2022 Alfa Romeo Giulia TI, the Italian sports sedan of your dreams, starting at $499 per month plus tax with $4,999 down, plus first payment and title due at delivery. Come experience the passion and performance of Alfa Romeo of Birmingham, 1837 Grants Mill Road, or alfaromeousa of Birmingham.com. Lease 10,000 miles per year. WAC MSRP $51,490. Stock numbers Q0059, Q0068, or Q0074.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
If you're looking for a fun golf atmosphere that is laid back with a peaceful environment, the Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280, is perfect for you. Just a short drive from Birmingham, this 18-hole, 200-acre track with rolling fairways and ample greens is the definition of peacefulness of the country just miles from the city. Enjoy a great lunch before your round and a cocktail on the wraparound porch after 18. Come see us today. The Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280.
Your 24-hour home for the show is our website, nextroundlive.com. Easy links to the day's top stories in the morning rounds, plus the latest videos from the show, podcasts like Bama and Bourbon, The Mystery Fifth Hour, Last Call, and other shows from our Double Down Media podcast family. Nextroundlive.com, a great way to stream the show live or find easy-to-listen to hour-by-hour downloads from the Next Round Live show. And get the latest gear in the Next Round store. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage. That's nextroundlive.com.
The Next Round is proud to partner with Vulcan Tire and Auto, and we're excited to announce their first-class team and facilities are growing. If you are an experienced general maintenance technician looking for a new opportunity with a great growing company, go by Vulcan Tire. They want to talk to you. Not experienced, but interested in working on cars? Again, go by Vulcan Tire. They have a spot for anyone that has a can-do attitude, wants to work, and enjoys helping people. 4 locations and more to come. Vulcan Tire and Automotive, Moody, Trustful, Hoover, and Gardendale, VulcanTireandAuto.com. All the coaches I talk to believe you win championships in all 3 phases of the game. And the same is true with my friends at Wayne's with pest protection, termite protection, and lawn care. The website is callwaynes.com. Remember the promo code TNR for big savings. With the cold weather coming, the pests will be trying to break through your defense and come inside. You can save $60 right now off of Smart Pest by using that promo code TNR. So go online to callwaynes.com or call the phone number 866-WAYNES1 and remember the promo code TNR.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and our entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. You're not average, and the New Balance Birmingham store has the shoes and apparel to perfectly match your unaverage self. If we were all shaped the same and had the same level of fitness, and if we all walked and ran exactly alike, well, then I guess an average shoe store selling average shoes would be just fine. But you deserve better. At the New Balance Birmingham store, our specialists will match you with a custom pair of New Balance shoes that fit you perfectly. Come see us at the New Balance Birmingham store. Your feet will thank you.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Back with you on the Next Round. Jay Batt was at Alabama. Now he's the AD at Georgia Tech. As soon as he gets on the job, he's inheriting a situation where they got an interim head coach. And he starts a coaching search. And while he's doing that, Brent Key, trustful guy, one-time Alabama assistant, Georgia Tech player, is the interim coach. All of a sudden, Georgia Tech is 4-4 down the stretch, including some big wins like over North Carolina and knocking North Carolina out of the playoff hunt. Deion Sanders at one point was a name mentioned at Georgia Tech because of his popularity in Atlanta and the South in Georgia high schools in recruiting. But yesterday, Jay Batt, the AD, met with the Georgia Tech players to introduce the new coach to Georgia Tech. Here's the way it sounded and looked.
want you to know we conducted an exhaustive search. We looked all over this country, talked to a ton of people, and at the end of the day, there was a bunch of people that had interest in being the head coach of your football team. I think we found the right person to lead you. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to your new head football coach.
That is Brent Key walking back in.
After an exhaustive search, everyone telling us no, we have gone to the interim guy.
Look at Lance pissing on the good moment.
I don't think that was in his notes.
Yeah.
Remind me never to take Lance to the Macy's Day Parade.
Look
look, here comes Snoopy.
No, look, I got no problem with this. I mean, I don't know how good that job is. I think, Dunaway, you and I have talked about there seems to be potential there. It just hasn't really worked out, but he did a great job down the stretch.
That moment, though, gave me chills last night when I saw it on Twitter to see the player reaction. You know how big that's for Brent Key. And I don't know if it's a good hire or not. You know how I feel about hiring the interim, especially in those situations where the staff had been so bad that they're making a change. He's part of that staff. But, I mean, he did go 4-4 down the stretch. Jeff Collins, who we love on this show, didn't get a 4-win season his entire time there.
Yeah.
So
to me, the guy, he earned it. He earned an opportunity to be in the discussion at least, right?
Oh, I think in those final 8 games, you probably would have said 2-6.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. I've got no problem with this.
I wonder what soured on Willie Fritz. That appered to be the leader in the clubhouse
going
this week.
into the weekend.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, going into the weekend. Now, he's still got an AAC championship game to play for Tulane.
I think he shot it down.
And a New Year's Six bowl game if they win that game.
Yeah, which is somewhat similar to what happened to Fickle last year. Fickle got, I hate to say stuck at Cincinnati, but he did. He got stuck at Cincinnati when a lot of big jobs are open because they were in the playoffs, and he couldn't leave. So he gets a chance to bolt this year. He's going to Wisconsin.
I think the Fritzes really like the New Orleans area. I think I told you I ran into his wife at a bowling alley.
You did? At a bowling alley?
Yeah, but, she's got a big social circle, and, sometimes, where he is in life right now.
And people don't know Willie Fritz's history. 2-time national championship coach at Sam Houston State at the FCS level. And he's got Tulane, who could go to their first New Year's Six
All they got to do is
bowl game
win.
since 1940 when Tulane was in the SEC. He'll be the talk of the town.
Yeah, and I'll tell you an interesting angle to that.
Till the Saints play again.
If Central Florida wins and Troy wins, Troy's got a shot to leapfrog Central Florida.
Yeah, we'll have John Sumrall on with us a little bit later on. He'll be with us at 11:45. That's part of our Michelson Look Ahead, brought to you by the great folks in Michelson. Listen, LT can see right through a good moment of video, thanks to our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
969-8100, that's the number you need to write down. Look, if you've been thinking about procrastinating, getting LASIK done, finding out if you're a potential candidate, now is the time to at least make that call. How about the gift of vision for this holiday season? 969-8100. Ask for Amy Toller. The Next Round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You've got 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Again, I've still got 2015 vision, better than 2020 after the 12-minute procedure. Make the call that I made. Dr. Mort Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, conveniently located UAB Highlands. Call today. Michelson Laser Vision, 969-8100, or online, michelsonlaservision.com.
Paul says money issues, Brown, and that is some of the speculation of what ended it for Bill O'Brien, that the money wasn't where he wanted it to be. And again, both these could be true. I think it's also indicative of the fact he thinks he's back in the NFL next year. But both those can be true, that he wants to be in the NFL and the money wasn't good enough for Georgia Tech to change his mind.
But we have good sources that says this president at Georgia Tech is the first president ever that is willing to possibly open up their endowment money to match any giving raised by the Georgia Tech boosters. So this president may be the most friendly president when it comes to sports in recent Georgia Tech history. So
right.
There is a potential of growth there, both in basketball and football, if that is going to happen for Brent Key. Congratulations to my friend Brent Key on getting the Georgia Tech job. Meanwhile, Deion Sanders.
Is he your buddy?
He named his daughter Harper, and he told Dunaway one time, I was there for it.
Santa Clara, that he'd heard the name.
He was like, hey, my daughter's named Harper too. And I'd heard the name, and I think Jim heard him say, I'd heard you talk about the name all the time, so I used it.
He heard us on the show talk about the name Harper. But
I like Brent Key. I hope he does well. He's a good dude. He's a local guy. I wish him, I hope he kills it at Georgia Tech. It's a tough job, though.
Again, I said he's deserving. I just think there was probably a bunch of no's.
Speaking of no's, Deion Sanders has the opportunity to turn down at least 3 football programs, 3 FBS programs, if he wants to stay at Jackson State. Kevin O'Donnell, Fox 13, at my friend's Brian King's station down in Tampa, who covers USF, says Deion Sanders has been telling recruits he will be at a school on Sunday. That's after the SWAC championship game. The decision appears to be down to Colorado, USF, of which we've heard, and Kevin O'Donnell reporting Cincinnati. Colorado, USF, or Cincinnati, that Deion Sanders, according to Kevin O'Donnell, Fox 13 Tampa, has offers from all three of those.
Is there a chance that the Jimbo Fisher buyout drops by a couple of million on December 1st?
Potentially. I don't know. I think it's 100% no matter what it is. I guess you have to pay one less pay period, Lance. Yeah. Of those three, which one do you take if you're Deion?
Cincinnati is by far the best job.
It's the best job. That's not what I asked you, though. Which one do you take?
I would take the best job. I would
You would take Cincinnati?
Yeah, because Cincinnati will be in the Big 12 next year, and the Big 12 has a seat at the table to get you to the playoffs. By the way, Cincinnati can win the Big 12 next year. Cincinnati has a roster that is good. If Deion gets there and just holds on to what he has,
here's my point,
and brings in just a little bit more, Brown, he's got big arms. He'll wrap those arms around the players. They're going to stay, and then he's going to bring in some more players. Cincinnati could win the Big 12 next year, and then you got prime time as one of the 4 playoff teams.
Here's my point, though. Here's my point with South Florida. Yeah, and I don't know what drives Deion. He may just want to take the best job. But if Deion wants a really big-time job, I mean a big-time job, bigger than Cincinnati, South Florida is at ground zero right now. I mean, they are absolutely at ground zero. That's a bad program. He can go in there and can recruit and can work a miracle there.
But what is his ultimate goal?
I don't know.
But
I don't know what his ultimate goal is.
I mean, but if I get Cincinnati to the playoffs and win the Big 12.
But what if you don't?
Well, if I don't, then I don't. I'm still prime time.
No, but
but you're not going to get a bigger job out of that. I'm saying
you can make the argument Cincinnati is going to be the best of the Big 12. Now,
I don't disagree with that.
Oklahoma and Texas are leaving.
But what if you go 8-4 there a couple times, and then you've ruined any momentum you've got? I'm saying if he's really trying to build up to a big time job.
What if he goes to USF and he's 6-6?
That's an improvement. If he goes 6-6 at USF,
but that's not going to wow me. I'm not going to go hire a 6-6 USF coach at a big time school. If I'm Texas A&M, I'm not going to hire him.
Now, I will say the difference at USF, he probably could go in there and say, "Look, we're going to pay our guys. They're not going to class."
That's what I'm saying.
It's all about football here. We're going to run a professional organization.
He would kill it recruiting there.
I think he would, but you got to take the best job, and that's Cincinnati.
I mean, I think normally you do, but I don't think Deion's a normal guy either. He's not the normal situation we're talking about.
Doesn't look like a cold weather guy.
That's Cincinnati.
I don't know why Tripp is saying USF was 1-0 because I said 6-6. Well, 6-6 is not going to wow me. I don't care if I'm a name brand SEC school or wherever else he wants to coach. But I assume Prime wants to coach in the SEC. If I'm a 6-6 USF, I don't care if he's improved by 5 games. I don't want him.
Well, that's year one, though. You're not going to hire him after year one anyway.
Well, I'm just saying if he never gets better than 6-6 at USF.
Well, no. But if he goes from 1-11 to 6-6 next year, that's a miraculous turnaround.
I could go to Cincinnati for 1 year and be at Texas A&M or
you
somewhere
could,
else.
but listen to what you guys are saying. Anything short of making the playoff at Cincinnati, you feel like primetime probably has failed. It sounds like you two are saying that.
I'm not saying that they are going to be a playoff team. They have the potential to be a playoff team. They do. They're going to be.
I don't disagree with that.
They're good. They're a good program. Luke Fickell's not leaving behind chicken salad.
You look at the coaches they've had there. I mean, Brian Kelly, Luke Fickell, now possibly Deion Sanders.
Butch Jones,
Tommy Tuberville.
I
mean, there's some B-listers there. Or C-listers.
Jack Nippert. I don't know if that's his real name. I was just
Jack Nippert. I like Nippert Stadium.
I do too. I like Nippert Stadium.
I don't know what their facilities are like either. I have no idea.
All right. That's the Deion story. We want to go back to the 12-team potential playoff if we had one, and a little on that. But first, tell us about our friends at Simpio.
Hey, look, Simpio is one of the fastest-growing companies in the Southeast. One of the first calls we made was to Blake. The guys at Simpio, they take care of all the BS in every single office. When a business joins Simpio, they take care of the 4 pillars: compliance, HR, payroll, and benefits. When your company joins Simpio, you gain access to healthcare and employer benefits at prices only large organizations get. On average, Simpio is saving companies of all sizes and industries over 18% out of their fees. You can join Simpio any time of year. With that said, no annual contract. Simpio has a 99% retention rate. Call Blake and the guys today, 205-635-7467 or online, simpio.com.
Story I told you about twice yesterday with all the Hugh Freeze stuff going on. It probably washed over you, but today is a deadline that the College Football Playoff Committee has put in place on the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl has to come and say, we're willing to move off our mandated deadline of always wanting to play our game at 4 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Pacific, and this and that. So they've got to come off of that, or the College Football Playoff Committee has the potential to write them out of future playoffs. The Rose Bowl would not be a part of future playoffs, which would start in 2026. I only tell you that because the Rose Bowl contractually is in the playoffs through the rest of this contract. So if the Rose Bowl doesn't budge and the College Football Playoff Committee doesn't blink, we are going to be stuck with this 14 playoff for the 2023, the 2024, and the 2025 season. So we're at a crucial point if we're going to get the expanded 12-team playoff sooner rather than later.
Unless there's an amount of money they would agree to buy them out of it, which it can always be a possibility. But, yeah, it does look on the surface like this would extend that.
But the Rose Bowl says if you will grant us that window moving forward and keep us in the playoff mix 2 out of every 3 years, letting us host the semifinals, then we can go ahead and start the playoffs whenever you guys want to, which many believe would be 2024.
I just feel like we're in a point in the college football playoff where an expanded 12-team playoff, if a team faces the choice of joining that playoff or going to the Rose Bowl, do you think any team picks the Rose Bowl over that?
No, they 100% go to the playoffs.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
And then the second half of that is the Rose Bowl is about to be in the weakest position it's ever been in because of the weakening of the Pac-12.
That's right.
They are about to choose from the weakest selection of Pac-12 teams they've ever chosen from in the history of their game.
Yep.
And so I think that for the first time ever, the college football playoffs got all the upper hand here.
Yeah, by the way, if USC wins this weekend, Washington, who's not even in the Pac-12 championship game, goes to the Rose Bowl this year.
And who are they getting at? They're going to get Ohio State. If Ohio State doesn't make the playoffs.
If Ohio State doesn't make the playoff, they would get Ohio State.
And if they do make the playoff, Penn State.
Yeah. Penn State, Washington in your Rose Bowl, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, if Ohio State makes it. So, see, I mean, they're getting the weakest field they've ever gotten, and the playoff is about to be stronger than it's ever been. And you know good and well, if Washington or Penn State had the choice of I could go to the Rose Bowl or I could be the 12 seed.
Yeah.
They choose 12 seed every time.
12 seed every time. And here's how the 12-team playoff would look this year. I would hate to have to wait to 2026 to get to this.
I would too, but can I make a point? That road for Alabama, I mean, Alabama right now is about to go play Kansas State in a sleepy New Year's Eve morning Sugar Bowl they'll probably sleepwalk through, and both teams may. I don't know, probably a big game for Kansas State. Who knows who will play for Alabama? But, Lance, look at that path for Alabama right there and tell me how good you feel about them at least being in the 4, if not being in the national championship game. I mean, they beat Utah in Tuscaloosa.
Double-digit favorite over Utah, double-digit favorite over TCU.
In the Cotton Bowl. And then they would get somebody out of this group, Michigan, Tennessee without Hendon Hooker, and K-State.
More than likely Michigan, and they're probably a 6 or 7 point favorite there.
Out in the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, you don't think the 12-team playoff is going to change things? Alabama goes from sleepwalking through the Sugar Bowl to being the favorite to play for the national championship out of that half.
Oh, and I think Ohio State.
Yeah.
They walk into the
at least the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they probably play Georgia in the 4, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's going to change everything.
So I go back to, if you guys think with that 12-team playoff that the final 4 teams are Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and Alabama, then that you're just making the case for all the people out there who are saying, why are we putting these other teams in the playoffs?
Well, is it best teams or most deserving?
Well, because you've got standards you've agreed to that you have to consider.
Yeah. I'm ready for that. I never thought in my lifetime we would have a college football playoff like that.
Yep.
And I know you FCS folks and Division II folks, you do it all the time. That looks really interesting to me.
I mean, I think Alabama would play for the national championship in that particular setup right there, in that draw that they got.
I don't even care if they do. I just know.
No, I agree completely.
We get to the end right here after this championship weekend, and then I've got that many more meaningful games left. Sign me up for that.
I got Clemson at Penn State. I've got Kansas State at Tennessee, and I've got Utah at Alabama.
All those.
Come on, man.
All those. And really, at that point, there are very few arguments you have anywhere, right? I know we'll be debating on who the 11th seed is and should that team be in or not in. You know, I understand we'll get to that point once we do this, but I mean, Tennessee's there. I mean, I love the way
Sign
that
me
looks.
up, yeah.
Storm Restoration Roofing, our buddy Greg Nelson, Storm Restoration Roofing, they want to help you out this holiday season. If you have not had your roof inspected in a long, long time, take advantage of this offer right now and get it inspected before 2022 is done. And maybe it can help you tax-wise or your insurance companies before your deductibles change. Any of that, there's a real advantage to getting this done before the end of the year. To learn more about that and to get a free no-cost roof inspection, call my buddy Greg Nelson. This is his cell phone. Write to him, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, or maybe his beautiful wife will answer the phone. You see, it's locally owned. It's the Nelson family that owns the company. It's been locally owned for over 20 years. Storm Restoration Roofing. You can always look him up on Facebook, too. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Greg from Pell City. Insurance companies love him. He's A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. 205-542-3531 for Storm Restoration Roofing. When we come back, more football and a lot more here on The Next Round.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter @ScottForresterTV.
For one of Birmingham's best beer selections since 2016, come check out our friends at the Beer Hog. With 64 local, regional, and international craft beers on tap, there is something for everyone. Plenty of TVs to watch all the games while you enjoy some of their fresh-baked pizzas and delicious appetizers. The Beer Hog also has wines on tap and a full bar with great signature cocktails. Don't forget about the large selection of packaged beer and growlers to go. Follow us on Facebook or just stop by the Beer Hog located 2408 Pelham Parkway.
Now is the time to make your kids happy with a playground from Backyard Adventures. Order now and you're still guaranteed a Christmas delivery. Just go to backyardalabama.com. That's backyardalabama.com. On the website, you can see some brand new forts that are available. Plus, the always popular display sale is underway now. Just call 205-408-4FUN. That's 205-408-4386 or go to backyardalabama.com. As always with Backyard Adventures, you get quality 100% cedar with lifetime warranties, and they take care of their customers from start to finish. That means they completely set up the playground. You don't have to do anything. They'll do the landscaping to make it fit into your backyard. They'll do a maintenance program every year for you to keep it looking brand new. And when it's time for the playset to go, they'll come and take it down for you too. Learn about the display sale and see everything you need online at backyardalabama.com or call them up 205-408-4FUN for Backyard Adventures.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast like Bama and Bourbon, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app. Football is back, and you can check out the new arrivals in the Next Round store. Support the brand by grabbing a t-shirt, hoodie, or hat. See the latest gear online at nextround.store. That's nextround.store. We've got gear in your favorite team colors, perfect to wear to the stadium or tailgate. All the gear has been approved by everyone on the show. Quality and comfort that's perfect to share as a gift. Just visit nextround.store. That's nextround.store, the official store of Double Down Media.
Unexpected expenses are every homeowner's nightmare. The longer you wait, the more the expense. That's why if you have water, fire, or mold damage to your home or business, you should call DryTech immediately. The quicker you call, the more you save. DryTech's professionals are accustomed to dealing with these situations and can guide you toward the quickest and most efficient solution to your problem. DryTech also offers 24/7 emergency services, so let DryTech prevent a minor problem from becoming a major one. Call DryTech 205-637-0143 or go online to mydrytech.com. It's time to start thinking about employee holiday gifts. Consider getting your hardworking guys a pair of Red Wing boots. Each day, your employees are on the job site helping your company succeed, so reward them with comfort at its best. The Red Wing mobile shoe truck can visit your shop and fit your employees with a great selection of boots. Or Red Wing gift cards can be purchased at your local Red Wing store, available in all amounts. Whichever program you choose, your employees will appreciate the quality, service, and selection from Red Wing shoes, and they'll also be thankful they have such a great boss. Reward your employees this holiday season with Red Wing shoes.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Before LT tells you about Redmond, let me just throw a couple of things at you real quick.
Fire away, Jim.
One college football team this year won all their games on one plot of land and lost all their games on the other plot of land. Northwestern 1-0 in Ireland, 0-11 in the United States.
I thought you were talking about, well, I guess UAB did win a road.
Yeah, I thought you were doing home and road, but I see what you're saying now. How, in hindsight, and I know Scott Frost got fired, how bad a loss was that for Nebraska? I mean, that was their only win.
Yeah, 1-11, all the wins in Ireland, none in the U.S. But for a guy we think's a really good coach in Fitzgerald there at Northwestern, they've now lost 20 of their last 25 games since they were in the Big Ten championship game.
And he had to clean out staff yesterday, Lance, and that's normally a sign that your job might have been in jeopardy, and you make the agreement. Let me change staff first, and then give me another year.
Didn't Dickey get fired at Texas A&M? Right?
Yeah. Jimbo's offensive coordinator, Daryl Dickey, got fired.
I think Pat Fitzgerald is a lifer at Northwestern.
I mean, I don't know what they expect out of that program, but I think he gives you a good year 1 out of every 5, and that's probably enough for me.
Beautiful new football facility, and they're about to redo that stadium there, so they were in Soldier Field for a while right there. We'll get to some of the awards and stuff, the finalists that were announced for that, but Kentucky fired their OC yesterday as well. Rich Scangarello.
Very good, Jim.
Yeah. He led UK with a potential first-round quarterback to 107th in total offense, 105th in scoring offense, and he got fired yesterday.
Dead last in the conference. To put it into perspective, Lance, they gained 336 yards a game. Tennessee gained 538 a game. Tennessee gained 200 yards per game more than Kentucky did.
For whatever reason, Kentucky cannot get the offense fixed.
It's got to be a Mark Stoops problem.
It's got to be, because you've got what is viewed as, although we don't agree, a first-round selection in Will Levis. He's a solid quarterback, and you've got a really good running back in Chris Rodriguez. I know he missed time this year.
And he had Wandell last year.
Wandell Robinson, who's playing for the Giants right now.
And playing well.
Yeah, I mean, it's puzzling because he's changed coordinators, Stoops has. It's not like he's stuck with one guy the whole time he's been there and they've been bad. I mean, he's going from Eddie Grand to Liam Cohen, who was the Sean McVay guy, to Rich Scangarello, who was he was out in San Francisco, right, with Shanahan, who's this offensive genius. I mean, he just cannot get it right.
That whip around some coaching moves brought to you by our friends at Redmond Vodka, Redmond Distilling.
Yeah, hey, look, the holidays are here. One thing you need to do if you're heading to one of these parties, don't go empty-handed. Bring a bottle of Redmond Vodka. It's locally owned and operated. Their aim, clarity, and taste, color, and smell. It's vodka perfection. Redmond Vodka is made from corn, which not only makes it gluten-free, also provides that smooth finish, no harsh aftertaste, 8 times distilled, available at your local package and ABC stores. You can also get it in 20 different states. Ask for it by name. It is Redmond Vodka.
Can I make a point? And actually, JD made this point on Twitter. If you look at the college football playoff rankings and you make Alabama undefeated, now they're easily in the playoffs and they're playing Georgia. In fact, Alabama's probably number 2. But to his point, we talk about Alabama's bad wins or their lack of good wins.
Yeah, lack of a quality win.
Lack of a quality win. And his point is, assuming everything else went the way it did, if you make Alabama undefeated, all of a sudden Tennessee is 10-3. They might be in the top 10, maybe. But they're 10-3, Tennessee. and LSU is 9-3 Tennessee, and LSU's 8-4 LSU's probably right where you find Texas and Mississippi State. So if you make Alabama undefeated, their wins aren't that much better. I mean, you're hanging your hat on Tennessee, but they're undefeated.
Zero makes a difference. You don't have to start explaining your resume when you have a zero.
No, but that's not what he's saying. He's saying you can ding Alabama's their only wins are Texas, Ole Miss, or Mississippi State. Well, if they were undefeated, their wins wouldn't be any better. They'd have a bunch of wins that were down around 20 in Tennessee.
A lot of parity in the SEC this year.
Well, it feels like it. I mean, Alabama still wouldn't have like this massive win you hung your hat on. That Tennessee game at the time would have been a classic, but assuming, like I said, everything else happened, Tennessee still would have lost to Georgia, still would have lost to South Carolina. But you'd have Alabama, Georgia, 1 versus 2, and both of them are probably in at that point.
Jahmyr Gibbs makes that second down catch on the final possession. Is Alabama in the college football
Yes,
playoff?
they are.
Yes.
They're in the top 4 right now, in fact. I don't even think they got
I'm talking about even with one loss.
Yes. I think they would be ranked in the top 4 right now. I don't think they would have to be pulling for anybody to lose.
In fact, I think they would be 3. TCU would be 4, and USC would be 5, hoping for a TCU loss.
Well, and so the debate would become...
Well, you would have Alabama and Georgia playing each other this week.
Yeah, but if Alabama lost to Georgia, you still think they would stay
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
that'd be
loss.
tough then.
Yeah, it's 2 loss. No, to your point there, I think they'd be ranked in the top 4 right now, but they would still need to beat Georgia. But Georgia, I think, would be in a situation where they'd be in regardless.
One more note about the college football playoffs as we're sitting here today after our friends Dr. B tells you about LT's beautiful hair that he has on top of his head.
Yeah, Dr. B is, we were actually just having a discussion about Dr. B and the great job that he's doing because I've had multiple people reach out to me asking about Dr. B and exactly what he does. I had that second.
He loves college football. I know that.
He loves college football. He loves The Sopranos, The Godfather.
Yep.
The mob genre. Fascinating guy to talk to. So when you're getting that consultation, make sure you ask him about a variety of things. Look, when I had that second hair analysis done at Dr. Beckenstein's office about 7 weeks ago, got the results back. The hairs are already 14% thicker. Still pretty early in my treatment. Just started the second phase. Already have significant growth. Dr. B, the best in the business. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration in Alabama. Remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. T3hair.net for more information. That's T3hair.net. He takes pride in treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce those quality results for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Will, over in the chat room, Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room, Brian Vincent's a couple of fumbles away from being UAB's permanent coach, and Bama's a third down catch away from being in the playoffs. Both hurt me.
Well, I mean, yeah, those are true, but you could do that every year in college football, every single year.
Do you think if Vincent would have been 10-2, he gets this job?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do.
It'd have been hard to say no if his losses are LSU and Liberty.
And truthfully, it's a 10-2 roster.
No, I think that honestly, I think that's one thing that's hurting Vincent is I think Bill Clark had this team to the place where a lot of people inside UAB thought this was a 10-2, 9-3 type team, and he went 6-6.
Yeah, and Trent Dilfer is looking at this roster saying, hey, I can come there and win and move on from UAB and go to a bigger job fast.
He's probably also saying, does that running back have any eligibility left? Is there any way we could fudge numbers to keep that kid?
Alabama, this is the college football playoff thought before we get to the top of the hour. Alabama's been to 7 of the college football playoffs. Clemson's been to 6. Ohio State's been to 4. We are USC and a TCU went away from all 3 of those not being in there. And the most amazing stat was from Heather Dinage last night that 20 of 24 playoff games played in the college football playoff era included one of those 3 teams.
Yeah. I mean, 17 of the 32 playoff spots were Ohio State, Alabama, or Clemson.
Alabama, so 20 of 24 playoff games included Alabama, Ohio State, or Clemson.
So 4 games, Georgia, Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. Last year, Georgia and Michigan in the Orange Bowl. Florida State and Oregon in the and then Ohio State, Oregon in the national championship.
No, you included Ohio State.
Oh, that's right. Do you know the other one?
I don't. You started naming them. I thought you knew them. I can't think of the other one.
Oh, who did LSU play in their first round?
LSU played Oklahoma. That's the other one.
That's right. LSU
Oklahoma. Yep.
There you go. Those are the 4. Isn't that crazy?
That is wild.
And all 3 of them are maybe out. When we come back, more college football, more mind-blowing college football. Jim realizing things all of you realize every year until right now. It's my favorite part of being old. It's like I'm seeing things for a new time. The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at Nichols Outfitters. You can get a lot of new stuff right now for the holiday season.
Nichols Outfitters is right there off of I-65, exit 242 in Pelham. If you got that old firearm or hunting rifle just laying around collecting dust, they may be interested in purchasing it from you. You thought about selling your old firearm to put cash in your pocket? Nichols Outfitters will give you a price. These guys know the outdoors. Nichols Outfitters, exit 242 off I-65 in Pelham.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items, and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com.
All the coaches I talk to believe you win championships in all three phases of the game. And the same is true with my friends at Wayne's with pest protection, termite protection, and lawn care. The website is callwaynes.com. Remember the promo code TNR for big savings. With the cold weather coming, the pests will be trying to break through your defense and come inside. You can save $60 right now off of Smart Pest by using that promo code TNR. So go online to callwaynes.com or call the phone number 866-WAYNES1 and remember the promo code TNR.
Holly Mack Wilson wants you to have a safe and enjoyable holiday season. To protect your home and keep it safe, Holly suggests the following. Water your tree daily. Keep your packages out of sight from doors and windows. If you travel, secure your home before leaving. Check all electrical circuits and don't overload them. And consider smart technology to protect your home. For more information, call Holly Mack Wilson today, 205-901-9446 or hollymackhomes.com. Happy holidays to all from Holly Mack Wilson and anywhere in Alabama, Keller Williams agent.
Don't let a roof problem disrupt your football Saturday or Sunday. Call Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. Locally owned at 205-542-3531. Greg wants to give you a free, no-cost inspection. Free, no cost, no obligation, 205-542-3531. He can also pressure wash your metal roofing. It's easy to see why his company's so successful. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, and insurance companies trust him. You should too. 205-542-3531 or just look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and Bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping on some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And in our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, LT takes off the gloves for in-depth conversations with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find these podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
The NFL playoffs are just around the corner and every game matters. Join us on the Next Round and Pepsi every Thursday as we preview the upcoming big games in the NFL weekend. Pepsi and the NFL, a perfect match for your weekend.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Want more of The Next Round? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Halfway through the show, welcome back to hour number 3 here. LT in just a second will tell you about the wonderful folks at Slice Pizza as they bring you part of this hour as well as we get going in the headlines. But I'll tell you about my friends at Champy's Chicken. Champy's Chicken is the wonderful folks right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. They bring you this third hour every day, and they bring you great lunch and dinner every day. So champy'schicken.com, a wonderful place for you to dial in for lunch or dinner today on Highway 119 in Alabaster. They'll also let you sample the best tamale I've ever tasted, a Mississippi Delta recipe tamale. You can do that with our friends at Champy's Chicken. All your holiday parties and much more at champy'schicken.com. Trent Dilfer will be introduced as the UAB head coach a little bit later on today. The players sent a letter wanting Bryant Vincent, but that may have come a little too late. Bryant Vincent, as the interim, led UAB to a 6-6 in a bowl bid this season. Lane Kiffin signs a $9 million a year contract, 6 years with a rollover for a 7th year at Ole Miss. That coming after a pursuit, or at least perceived pursuit, depending on however you listen to, by the Auburn Tigers to get Lane Kiffin to coach over there. And how about Gary Patterson, who has gotten a lot of play this year for his defensive game plans as an analyst at Texas? Reports last night he may become the next head coach at UNLV.
Ooh. Ugh. It's a terrible job. That's the best he can get.
We'll see if he wants to get back into coaching. That may be from the UNLV side, but that was one of the reports last night.
If they can get him, that's a huge win for them. That's an awful job.
Basketball last night as well. Some interesting games. You saw number 3 Virginia beat Michigan 70-68. The go-ahead bucket there with 40 seconds to go in that contest. Really a fun game. Just when I was ready to sell Shaka Smart down the river, his Marquette team took it to number 6 Baylor, 96-70. It's the largest margin of victory over a top 10 team for Marquette since 1971.
Al McGuire?
Al McGuire's Marquette team. Really, really good win there. You watched the Illinois game as they handed it to Syracuse and Boeheim last night.
They look pretty good. I like that Illinois team, and Syracuse is just a shell. I guess Boeheim's just hanging on for wins now, huh?
Number 19 Kentucky was tied 21-21 at the half with Bellarmine. They ended up beating them 60-41, but at halftime, not a lot of folks were happy at Rupp Arena. Missouri beat Wichita State. Good win for them there. And number 22 Maryland beat Louisville. Louisville now 0-7 on the year.
Oh, and it doesn't get any easier. You got Miami at Florida State coming up. Well, this is just, it's amazing where Louisville basketball is right now.
Jacksonville, the Dolphins in town to play UAB tonight, 6:30. That game happening down at Bartow Arena. Andy, AK's team, a 14-point favorite in that one at Bartow. Then they get a good South Alabama team Sunday afternoon down at Bartow if you want to make plans to go watch them. Some other good basketball games we'll throw at you a little bit later on in the show. Auburn back in action with Colgate Friday at home. Alabama back in action with South Dakota State Saturday at home after their both road trips to Cancun and Portland. Those are your headlines. Don't forget Bud Light Game Night coming up tomorrow night at Soho Social. But right now, it is time to talk a little bit about the SEC Championship game coming up this weekend, and we'll do that in our SEC Championship Countdown brought to you by our friends at Dr. Pepper. One thing you know about the Georgia Bulldogs, they're the number 1 team in the college football playoffs, and they are a team coming off the national championship. But Kirby Smart goes to the old school of Steve Spurrier. He believes there is value in being the SEC champion. Here's Kirby Smart on how important they're in, regardless of outcome this weekend. But how important is it for Kirby Smart in Georgia in the SEC title game this weekend?
I think it's more about checking a box. It's not about last year's team or comparison. It's about next step and having an opportunity to put a number on the wall that stays there forever. You know, it's an SEC championship. You don't belittle those. Those are hard to come by. They're what you do for, and there's such a respect, especially in this part of the country, for the Southeastern Conference, that winning a Southeastern Conference championship is extremely impressive for the quality of football and the number of NFL players that come out of our conference. I think our players take a lot of pride in that.
And they're the national champions, but not the SEC champions. That's how tough this league is. The last time Georgia won the SEC championship, Alabama won the national championship. Alabama won the conference last year. Georgia won the national championship. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it does mean something to be the SEC champions.
Oh, look, I mean, Kirby's legacy's already cemented, winning a national championship for the Georgia Bulldog faithful for the first time in 40 years. But there is something about when it's all said and done, how many SEC championships he had at Georgia. I mean, and there's bragging rights for the Georgia Bulldogs, and it's hard to believe. Well, not really hard to believe. Last time they lost a game was in this game.
You know, it's a sign, though, of how good your team has become that you have to preach how important winning a conference championship is.
100%.
Nick Saban's had to do this same thing in Tuscaloosa because it's so easy just to look at winning the national championship as the ultimate goal. But I do think the SEC championship means something. The weird thing about this is, what is the last SEC championship Georgia won?
17.
Was it 17 or 8? No, Alabama won 18, right?
17.
17. It's been a while since they've actually won as successful as they've been.
Oh, yeah. If you would have said at that night, hey, look, Georgia's not going to win another SEC championship until 2022, you would have thought probably crazy.
I mean, as successful as that program has been, it's been a minute since they've won a conference championship.
Dr. Pepper SEC championship countdown continues on. Brian Kelly, LSU's coach, the team Georgia's playing as an 18.5-point underdog. He leads the Bayou Bengal Tigers into Atlanta, and they go in there coming off a tremendous loss at Texas A&M that knocked them out of the playoff discussion. How do you bounce back from that? Here's Brian Kelly.
Our guys know they let something slip away, and they're upset about it. And they know how they have to play. I mean, we don't have a margin for error. We have to play with grit. We have to play with fire. We have to play to our identity. And if we don't, you know, we're not the kind of team we need to be. So I think they're anxious to go back out and play up to their standard, and that's the way I feel that they will play.
I haven't watched LSU play every game this year, obviously. I've watched most of them, though. Would you say the game they played the best was against Alabama?
Yes.
Well, it's easy for us to say that because we live here in Alabama.
Yeah, but I don't know another one you would argue.
I think it is.
Second half of the Ole Miss game, they were really, really good. First half, they weren't.
Yeah, first three or last three quarters, they were really good in that. But I would say that or Bama, probably Bama. Just watching them coming off that A&M loss and how flat they were, it's just hard to believe that they'll be able to, keep up with Georgia.
Well, first off, Jaden Daniels banged up in that loss at A&M, and he is going to try to play this weekend, but we'll see how much he's able to move. He's been in a boot a lot, protecting that ankle and that foot so he doesn't re-injure it during walking around campus in the film room or whatever. He's going to try to play. And LSU running back Josh Williams says he expects to play in that game as well. And that's our SEC preview brought to you by our friends at Dr. Pepper. Remember, a great taste of SEC championship football starts with our friends at Dr. Pepper right there. One other soundbite and then a special moment here on the show. But Rockstar, if you'll give me cut number 13. Last week, Dabo Swinney made a comment about flipping burgers. All right?
I didn't hear this.
Tennessee fans took it as an insult that he was saying they took it as our players are going to be flipping burgers for a living, is how Tennessee fans took it. Dabo was, and he explains it here in the soundbite, what he was trying to say when he was talking about Tennessee players are out there flipping burgers. Dabo caught some heat. Now they're getting ready for the ACC championship game, and he's sort of trying to clean up what some Tennessee fans are mad about flipping burgers, that comment. Here's Dabo.
Yeah, that's just a classic example of people just hear what they want to hear. And I actually was paying them a compliment. I was really more challenging our guys in that we were talking, I don't even know what it was. We were talking about finishing and how hard it is to win. you know, and you're sitting there and you forget this. And I'm talking about our guys. Like, you know, you say, okay, well, man, you've got a path that's clear, you know, but you have to finish. And I just made the point. I mean, you know, with the team we're getting ready to play, I mean, this team is, I mean, okay, they just got to do this and do that. Then next week, they just can sit at home and flip burgers and watch all the championship games they're in, right? But you got to finish. And you know, it's not anything against Tennessee, man. I got all the respect in the world for Tennessee. People just hear what they want to hear, whatever. I'm so sure there's not a shot at them at all. It just was what had just happened, and was talking about our guys and how we've got to finish, and the path is clear and so forth. But again, that just comes with the territory. Doesn't matter what you say. People hear what they want to hear and take what they want to take and create whatever narrative they want. That's my world.
Yeah, Dabo Swinney. So his point was Tennessee going into that South Carolina game, the path was clear for them. If they beat South Carolina and they beat Vandy, they don't have to play in the championship game, and they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they're going to sit at home, and they're able to flip those burgers and watch everybody else play, and they're going to be one of the 4 teams, but they lost at South Carolina. Turns out Clemson could have been flipping burgers too, but they got beat as well.
Yeah, I don't know how that got misconstrued. It would be interesting right now if Tennessee wouldn't have lost to South Carolina. Where do you guys think they would sit?
I think they would be number 3 right now.
Probably so. Yeah.
And I think TCU would be
4.
in, and USC would be trying to win to hope to get in there.
And there would be nothing that could keep them out.
But I will tell you, Tennessee with 1 loss, if USC does win Friday night, it would be hard not to put SC in front of Tennessee.
Oh, with Tennessee's only loss being on the road at Georgia? No way. Tennessee would be in.
Yeah.
Tennessee would be in unless Georgia lost
I don't
to
know.
LSU.
Again, they take a lot into conference championships, and I think at that point USC would have 5 top 25
Well,
wins.
their loss would be to number 1. They have a win over number 6. I mean, that'd be tough to overlook them.
Yeah. It would be number 7 at that point because Tennessee would be ahead of them.
But
yes.
again, you got to factor in the Hendon Hooker.
Well, no. Again, I didn't know that was part
In
of it.
my
I thought-
scenario, Hendon Hooker didn't get hurt.
I thought Hendon Hooker was still alive at this point. Okay.
Hendon Hooker's not running that play.
That would be weird, though, if Hooker had gotten hurt in a win over South Carolina.
Yeah.
And was out. I don't know. I don't know what would happen.
Coming up at 11:45, John Sumrall, the head coach of Troy, will be with us. Troy playing for a championship at home this weekend. We encourage you, if you're down in that area or a Troy fan anywhere watching us, make your trip to Troy and be there for a championship game this weekend, man.
You going, Rockstar? Your father-in-law is a massive Troy fan.
We got the invitation, but no, we're not going to go.
Okay, Rockstar sitting this one out.
Yeah, I'll watch it on TV.
Coach Sumrall coming up. We'll let him know you're not there.
So,
you guys going?
No.
11:45, we'll talk to John Sumrall, and at 12 noon, we'll talk to Todd Fuhrman. But today's a special day here at Double Down Media because we, dare I say, we are family.
That's right. We are
family.
Yeah. Well, we can't play it.
Do you know who sang the song?
Sister Sledge.
Very good, boys.
Yep.
You know what World Series championship team used it as their theme song?
1979 Pittsburgh Pirates.
Very good. Lee Davis and I back in a moment here on AM 690. The great Lee Davis used to do trivia like that all the time. But today is somebody's birthday up here at Double Down Media. Rockstar, is it your birthday?
Let me check it.
Nope.
Nope, that's not mine.
Lunsford, is it your birthday, Lunsford?
I don't think so.
Forrester, is it your birthday?
Negative.
Yep. Brownie, your birthday? Nope. LT?
Nope, wrong season.
So not my birthday. My birthday's in December. It's not me.
Oh.
Who is it? Whose birthday is it?
Somebody told me it's little T's birthday. Somebody bring in Taylor Corn.
Can we get our girl, our social media director in here?
The very opinionated Auburn
Oh,
Yes.
very, very
She
opinionated.
rides the roller coaster.
I mean, she's had a tough last week and a half with this Auburn search.
Light 'em up, Brownie. Light 'em up.
She has not handled this well. There's Taylor
Happy
Corn.
birthday, Taylor Corn. Grab a microphone here. How old are you?
Well, if you look at
if you look at the Michael Jordan on top of the cupcake.
I'm sorry, I don't ask good questions. You guys go ahead.
Yeah.
Ask her question.
Taylor, what's it like to be 23?
I kind of forgot.
That was your birthday?
Well, yeah. My mom was like, "What do you want for your birthday last week?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I've been too concerned about the Auburn coaching hire."
Yeah, you've really lived and died with this Auburn coaching hire. You want to go ahead and blow those candles out before we set off
Yeah.
the fire alarm on this expensive equipment? Happy birthday, Taylor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you wish for a different coach?
No, I'm gonna. This is what happened with Rockstar stuff.
I know.
I'm thankful for our hire. I'm gonna support him.
Oh, you're gonna do
and
boycott. I was a Boy Scout. All you're
Just-
going to do is
just
relight
put
it, just let it
and
go.
It'll,
There you go.
I'm gonna support her.
You're going to support
Or
Hugh
him.
Freeze, him.
Yeah, I'm gonna support him, and I'm just gonna hope for the best. And if
Okay.
it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I can't do anything about it now. So.
Well, happy birthday, Taylor.
Will you eat that
special,
cupcake?
Special plans tonight?
Yes, I'm going to dinner. I celebrated this weekend with my friends, but I'm going to dinner with my family tonight.
Oh, how awesome.
Then a little
Yeah.
trivia?
Aren't we
Yeah,
family?
if we finish in time.
Are we family? Did we get invited,
Yeah,
Rex?
where are we
Yeah,
going?
y'all can
Where are we
come.
going?
Jim Marcos.
Oh, can't hide it. Can't hide it.
Can't hide money. Can't hide money.
Tell them to pull up 8 extra seats.
That's right. We'll be there.
We'll be there. But tell them what we get for our appetizer.
Oh, the what's it called? The nochi with the pear in it. What do they call it?
Pear?
Yeah, it's so good. It's the best appetizer in Birmingham.
looked more country right then when you said
Pear? What is that called? I can't remember what it's called. I'll tell you what it's called. Yeah, Jim Marcus is good.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Yep, you're right.
If you do us a favor and hit thumbs up button on our social media sites, including YouTube, because Taylor lives and dies with our thumbs up things.
Is it the Fiocchi?
Yes.
Yeah,
it is,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
We'll got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Fiocchi.
The Fiocchi.
Get
Get the
Fiocchi.
Fiocchi.
Yep.
You'll
You're
love
going to
it.
want probably 2 or 3 servings of it.
Yeah.
The whole table.
You're not paying. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
right.
It's
Let
got-
Don pay.
Yeah.
It's got purr in it. It's got purr in it.
Purrs.
Purr.
Just 2 of them?
Hit that thumbs up button because she lives and dies by that. And
That's right.
go over to our Twitter account at Next Round Live and follow us there. It's been a while since we pushed Twitter, and just go say hi to Taylor. And
That's
she'll
right.
respond
She's
to
always
you.
monitoring 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No foot pictures though.
Yeah.
Save that for my birthday.
That's right. So if you want to give Taylor a birthday gift, go follow us on social media and hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Right, T?
Right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday. Good stuff.
When we come back,
Good stuff.
I couldn't think of anything else to say. Happy
when
birthday.
you get back out there, poll question: Lance more excited about your birthday here, or Brett Key being named Georgia Tech's head coach?
Or the USFL coming to town.
All right, that's Taylor Corn. You can vote in our Cowan Equipment poll questions that Taylor throws out every day, brought to you by our friends at Cowan Equipment.
Yeah, again, our friends at Cowan, proud to partner with us on our venture here. Would love the opportunity to partner with your company for your heavy equipment needs. Very simple. Visit cowan.com to find out more about how we can be your heavy equipment solution. From rental and new equipment sales, superior service and parts. Again, cowan.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about our friends at New Life Art. Daniel A. Moore has completed his original full-color oil painting honoring Bryce Young, Alabama's 4th Heisman Trophy winner. This painting depicts the memorable Heisman-worthy go-ahead pinpoint pass to John Mechie in the corner of the end zone as the Tide dismantled the vaunted Georgia defense in the SEC championship game this past year. Use code TNR for 15% off. You can order online at danielmooreart.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
It's time to start thinking about employee holiday gifts. Consider getting your hardworking guys a pair of Red Wing boots. Each day, your employees are on the job site helping your company succeed, so reward them with comfort at its best. The Red Wing mobile shoe truck can visit your shop and fit your employees with a great selection of boots. Or Red Wing gift cards can be purchased at your local Red Wing store, available in all amounts. Whichever program you choose, your employees will appreciate the quality, service, and selection from Red Wing shoes, and they'll also be thankful they have such a great boss. Reward your employees this holiday season with Red Wing shoes.
Fall is here and fall means football, but don't forget about your yard. My yard is looking fantastic, and it's all thanks to our friends at Wayne's. Because it's fall, lawns are now in dormancy, and yards of the month are made in the fall during the proper shutdown of the growing season. It is important to get the correct nutrients and pre-emergent in the turf and root system to ensure a weed-free and lush lawn next summer. Call Wayne's today, 866-WAYNES1, or visit them online, callwaynes.com. And remember, first month is free of the EnviroLawn service from our friends at Wayne's.
Football season is back, and so are tailgates. It's time to win that tailgate with Champy's world-famous fried chicken right on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and his winning team will open up the doors so you can dine in or an easy-to-go pickup when you order at champyschicken.com. At Champy's, you experience southern staples like chicken on a stick and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales that are to die for. Hand-cut chicken tenders and a whole lot more right on your way home or to the big game. Highway 119 in Alabaster. For Blues, Brews, and Bird, it's Champy's Chicken.
The Alabama Head Injury Foundation strives to improve the quality of life for survivors of traumatic brain injury and for their families. Whether the injury is mild or severe, the life of the injured person and their family is changed forever. The impact can be both emotionally and financially devastating. AHIF provides the information to help clients and families understand the results of injury. AHIF helps access available resources and provides services and programs which meet the unique needs of individuals with traumatic brain injury as well as spinal cord injury in certain programs. Find out how you can help at ahif.org.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. You're not average, and the New Balance Birmingham store has the shoes and apparel to perfectly match your unaverage self. If we were all shaped the same and had the same level of fitness, and if we all walked and ran exactly alike, well, then I guess an average shoe store selling average shoes would be just fine. But you deserve better. At the New Balance Birmingham store, our specialists will match you with a custom pair of New Balance shoes that fit you perfectly. Come see us at the New Balance Birmingham store. Your feet will thank you.
New York Butcher Shop bringing us our steak bets every day on the show. Before you tell us about New York Butcher, an interesting scenario. One of the future steak bets we have out there is Ohio State or the field. You took Ohio State. Remember back in the day when Ohio State looked unbeatable and looked better than anybody in the field. So a USC TCU win this weekend likely leaves Ohio State out, and another steak win for me there. But I'm like you. I think at least one loses, and I don't care which one it is. I think if one loses, Ohio State gets in.
Yeah, you seem like you're piling on recently, which is fine.
No, I need them because it all goes back.
You really don't. The other thing, what happened to you picked like 7 games against the spread? Did we ever look back at that?
Yeah. No. I don't know if we did that this year or not.
We did it.
Yeah. I do not have that written down. But
I'm sure you lost it. But anyway,
yeah.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop, pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks.
You can always tell who's
and
ahead.
Burgers. Premium pork chop. Well, Dunaway will not let it go.
I know.
When I'm ahead, I don't say a word.
How would you like me to get into our New York Butcher Shop read then a steak bet update? I'm just giving us a steak bet update brought to you by our great friends in New York Butcher Shop.
We did have a graphic the other day that Little T built, right?
I did have fun with that.
That was Jim's birthday gift to her.
Chef-prepared entree, side dishes, perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family, ready to heat at home. Great wine selection, desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations to serve you. Cava Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality. Well done, sir.
Hey, the Maxwell is usually a precursor to the Heisman, right?
Yeah.
Good news for Hendon Hooker. He's one of 3 finalists for that. So there's a chance Hooker could still be in New York as a Heisman finalist. Not going to win it.
0 chance.
But could still be a Heisman finalist, maybe. You've got to vote. You going to put Hendon in one of your 3?
No.
Okay. C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams, the likely Heisman winner, and probably the Maxwell Award winner as well. Those are the Maxwell finalists. The Biletnikoff, Jalen Hyatt, who's had a great year at Tennessee, Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State, and Xavier Hutchinson at Iowa State.
Without great quarterback play.
Is he that good?
He's good. He's really good. He was really the only offense they had this year.
The Davey O'Brien best quarterback is Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud, and Max Duggan. There, that could get him maybe.
Yeah, Duggan will be in New York.
And the Bednarik includes Will Anderson of Alabama and a couple other players, including Thule from USC. So it'll be interesting to see who wins all those awards. Those finalists announced yesterday. Time for Trash Now, Rockstar. If you'll hit that big old button.
Father of two, Dale Decker, suffers from a rare and seemingly incurable condition that leads to him suffering up to 100 unwanted orgasms a day.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
I'm sorry, Maggie.
Hey, surging interest rates might be weighing down your decision to buy a home, but Mortgage Right has a program that can lift the burden. If you're looking to save money on your new mortgage, temporary interest rate buy-down may be just what you need. Mortgage Right's temporary buy-down program can lower your initial interest rate during the early years of your mortgage, giving you a chance to save money in a more demanding housing market with a variety of buy-down options and experts nationwide. Mortgage Right can help you purchase a home with the best possible interest rate. Rates are on the rise, so it's more than wise to consider a temporary interest rate buy-down. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to get started today or call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. We've got offbeat holidays in December, the first of which starts next Wednesday. That is December 7th, National Cotton Candy Day. Loved it as a kid, cannot stand it now.
My little one, my 8-year-old, loves going into a convenience store and they sell it just in like a little plastic cylinder container like that, and we'll just eat the whole container. I hate the stuff.
I mean, you can't not eat the whole container.
It's sweetened fiberglass.
I agree.
I like it when it's. I don't want to sound old, but we used to have this state fair.
Yep.
They take the little cardboard cone and they would just stick it down there, and it was like magic, and it'd be like,
and,
and then you pull it out, and then I would always have to pull it off and eat it, because if you try to eat it like this, first it got on my long nose, but also it would get wet, and then it becomes a different texture at that point.
Yes.
Conspiracy theory, you know who invented cotton candy?
The Germans.
A dentist.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
German.
But
Nazis.
But also at the fair, I used to love the candy apples too.
Oh, I did too. But you take one bite and
too hard.
Pull your teeth out.
Yeah, pull your teeth out.
So that's
I
good.
like the flavor.
Another good poll question: candy apple, caramel apple.
Caramel apple, much
Caramel
better.
apple.
Yeah.
Hey, you want me to tell you what's good? Do you like caramel apple?
Caramel apple with the nuts on it's really good.
Yeah. Do you like caramel apple?
I do like caramel.
They
apple.
make these suckers that are the sour apple flavor, and it's got a coating of caramel on the outside.
seen those in a while.
So
It looks
good.
like it's been run over by a truck.
Hey, but they're
somebody
good,
took a
man.
shit on it.
They're
It's a
good.
terrible presentation, but it's good.
Stick that lollipop up your ass and let's package it.
Didn't
I don't
somebody
think of that when I eat it.
Did somebody bring that to a bag of those to us at our old job one time?
Potentially. I had some down in my football room until I ate them all this football season.
Good for you.
Wow. Would you eat more than one in a day?
No.
No.
I probably won during the late game.
Yeah,
Okay.
When you and I started pouring bourbon, he went and had one sucker.
Had a sucker.
Friday, December 9th is World Techno Day.
Not a fan. Yeah.
Friday, December 16th, National Chocolate Covered Anything Day.
I don't know what the best chocolate covered something is.
I like dark chocolate covered raisins.
I don't like dark chocolate. And I don't like raisins.
I
hate
like
both those.
chocolate covered almonds.
Yeah.
Back in the day when the peanuts were bigger, I like chocolate covered peanuts. What were they called? Goobers?
Yes.
Yeah.
So your goober's too small now?
Didn't you like chocolate covered Maggie on one vacation?
It wasn't a vacation, but there was one incident, yes.
Oh, my God.
One incident. That's the one where he shaved his body and he got ingrown
that was
hair. You don't
Butterfly
remember that?
Gap.
Butterfly
Yeah.
Gap. I think he put pancake syrup on his chest or something.
Oh.
They went 9.5 weeks.
You guys make up
Did
some
you get your
stories.
security deposit back? It's like a damn bear came in here and cleaned out the pantry.
Never have I ever.
Friday, also December 16th, National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day. I'm going to assume they planned this for a Christmas party.
Are we doing that this year? We did it last year.
What day is it?
Did we do it last year?
Yeah, we wore ugly Christmas
Yeah,
sweaters.
we did it last
Yeah.
year.
Remember Dunaway went all over town looking for
And I
one?
had to borrow one of his because I couldn't find one.
No, I
don't remember wearing one.
I forget what I ended up wearing, but you ended up wearing the one I
actually purchased to have it as a normal sweater.
Yeah, that's right. I wore a sweater out of my closet, and David Walls brought me one of his daughters, and you ended up wearing it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't.
You don't remember that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we did.
You
Ugly
remember
sweater
what
day.
you wore?
Yeah, ugly Christmas sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it?
It was like the lower half of Santa, and it had legs hanging off the bottom of my sweater, and it had jingle bells on it. So every day,
Damn.
I was walking down the hall.
Does anybody remember what I wore? I don't.
I wore the sweater I wore exactly to the Melrose Place premiere.
Oh, I remember you complained about the roommate ordering it and how expensive it was.
Oddly, it was your idea.
Oh, it had Lady Bird on it. Remember?
Well,
it did. It did.
Stunner. Yeah. It was your idea, man, that we did. Are we doing it this year?
Yeah. What day is it?
There was no way it was my idea.
No, it was 100% your idea. Yeah. I think you just wanted the Lady Bird sweater, and you really hated to order it because it was tacky.
I think it was the roommate's idea.
I don't even know where that sweater is. I haven't seen it since.
What day is it?
Well, I mean, it's a $200 sweater.
Friday, December 16th.
All right, December 16th, Ugly Sweater Day, everybody.
Now, Saturday, December 17th, it's National Ugly Sweater Day.
don't get those mixed up.
Ugly Christmas on one day, ugly on the other,
Yes.
all right?
Wednesday, December 21st, National French Fried Shrimp Day.
I like
Gross,
fried shrimp.
Gross and gross.
My favorite sweater story is our friend that bought the Bill Cosby sweater, and he didn't know the price of it. And he got to the register, and he was so embarrassed to turn around. He paid like $600
Yeah.
Oh,
his
no.
blue suede
for a
shoes.
Bill Cosby looking
Crosby.
sweater. Bill Cosby. Damn it, Rockstar.
You got the
Cosby.
Finally.
You got to take the L or the Cosby.
Finally. December 30th is Bacon Day.
Yeah, just live without bacon.
I don't understand that.
How do you
Love
not
bacon.
understand that?
I don't have it much, but
I really don't
like
either.
it.
But Maggie makes a pan of it for her salads, and it just makes the house smell so
No,
good.
it does. I like the smell of it. It's like coffee.
And our oven's a little jacked up right now because we bake it in the oven. Our friend Amy Gonzalez told us that we make our bacon, so we bake it. But our oven's jacked up a little bit, so it goes from really crispy to the way Brown likes it, really limp at the end. And I'm now closer to the limp side than the crunchy side, but I grabbed one of the burnt ones. Ooh.
Yeah, burnt's good.
Basic smoked is the best way to do bacon.
I love the fact that in the Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room, people think that I forget one thing.
Jay Price.
My head is dead.
Jay Price says you officially killed that brain cell since last Christmas.
I finally remembered it was a Lady Bird sweater. Nobody else did. Okay, an OnlyFans model has revealed an obsessed subscriber has her name tattooed above his junk, spends around $27,000 a year on her explicit photos and videos. Now, the fan quickly became Mercedes Valentine's most lucrative subscriber, having first reached out in June of 2021. Is that Mercedes?
That's Mercedes. The guy provided a picture of the tattoo. I didn't want to use that. I don't know if y'all wanted to see it. So I didn't use it.
No. The tattoo?
But I think
No,
I have,
negative.
You can Photoshop a big owl head around it.
Now, he went on to say that he wants her to control, quote, all aspects of his life. The subscriber has since asked permission to permanently ink the 22-year-old's name slightly above his junk, also on his wedding ring finger, in order to get it as close to the real thing as possible. The subscriber requested Mercedes to design the tattoo in her own handwriting. Mercedes also confirmed that the transfixed subscriber calls her his, quote, goddess and muscle mummy. He has a shrine dedicated to her, and he has even named her the beneficiary in his life insurance policy.
Well, that's a plus.
Really looking at his hands right now. Age, I would say 56 to 59.
This dude's insane. Absolutely insane.
Well, to enable him.
Kind of looks like an old woman's hand.
To enable him, the
I
model
agree.
who's getting paid, who does these, I will do my own personal signature for you to tattoo it on
Yeah,
your
I
finger
mean,
and your
she's
junk.
she's acting like she's got no problem
Yeah.
with it.
Not only will I accept your money, I'll ruin
Yeah.
your life.
I mean, I don't think, though, Rockstar, you could sell pictures of yourself nude on the internet and be surprised when some creep wants to tattoo his name, your name on his
You wouldn't want to meet your average fan?
No, I would not.
Your average subscriber?
Now, the thing I would worry about is this guy ultimately killing her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's probably
her killing him because she's the beneficiary of his life
I
insurance.
mean, would you say that's 3-1 right now?
Well, I would ask you, better chance Alabama backdoors into the college football playoff or Mercedes gets taken out by this freak?
Oh, no, better chance that. The second one.
Okay, I've got the 6 best fast food French fries according to different chefs
Ooh.
around the world.
This is going to be divisive right here.
I'm going to start at number 6, Burger King.
Negative.
That's not true.
I think they do peanut oil with theirs, that it just tastes weird to me.
Julia Child had opinions about French fries. She shared them in 2002 in an interview on CNN with Larry King. She told the host she had a soft spot for McDonald's and In-N-Out, but, quote, Burger King's French fries are very good, I think. I don't think this puts them at number 6. I don't even think she was really endorsing them.
And also, do you notice anything weird about the picture?
Those aren't Burger
That's an
King
onion
fries?
ring.
She's holding an onion.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the Burger King way, right?
Yeah,
they get one onion ring and fries in it.
Oh, is that the way they do it?
They do a gift onion ring. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think so. I've
It's
always
usually, I think it's usually a mistake. Same fryer.
Yeah.
somebody catch me on that.
All right. Somebody
seems like
verify
every
that
time
for
I.
Jim.
But I'll go ahead and tell you,
I've made a point, though, that every time I see a Burger King commercial and they run the shit out of them, that I ask whoever I'm with last time you ate at Burger King, and they can't remember.
Well, me, it was SEC Media Days this year with
I'm making a
Brown.
point. It's a tradition.
And I didn't make it through 12 holes after eating there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how good their French fries are because I can't remember the last time they were hot when I got them.
Wow.
Rocky, last
Destroy
time you
Burger
ate
King.
Burger King.
That's was one of my questions. If you had a gun to your head, could you
This summer, yeah, I can remember the time,
year?
'cause
I know where it was. It was in Livingston, Alabama.
Rodeo burger.
It was the rodeo burger that had the onion on it. I told you my right leg went numb for about an hour.
That's a good burger. It's your right leg numb, yeah.
That was probably 15 years ago.
John Sumrall, Troy, coming up in our next segment as we continue with Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
That was a push.
That
for
was,
me.
yeah, so we need to speed this up.
You
Yeah,
got to get
that's
all
what-
the picks in.
That's what Jim's telling you.
Okay, 5 is Checkers. I won't go into any details.
Yeah,
4
that
is the
Checkers have
Arby's
Checkers?
color fry,
Oh, hang
curly
on.
fries. Number 3 is In-N-Out. Number 2, Five Guys, and number 1 is McDonald's.
The Checkers fries I used to like. That was because I broke?
There were seasoned fries, Checkers and Rallies. They were
Yeah.
those were really good.
Did you
fries.
say McDonald's was one?
Yeah.
McDonald's was one?
Always one.
I bet we got a picture here. This out of Escambia County, Florida. Charles Wideneck McDowell, who rocketed to social media fame after an arrest in 2018. Looks like Taquillo Spikes.
He's been on Trash before. Yeah, I remember this guy.
He was arrested again on Sunday, booked into the Escambia County Jail. Now, Charles McDowell faces 2 charges, one for aggravated stalking and another for withholding support for a child or spouse. Now, McDowell was arrested in 2008 for a number of charges, including fleeing and evading, drug charges. Since his earlier arrest and rise to fame, McDowell became part of the Shrimp Gang, a collection of online celebrities. He recorded a music video with fellow neck meme internet star Daddy Longneck. Who's Daddy Longneck?
You want to see what Daddy Longneck
Yeah,
is?
has he got a real long neck, Roxy?
No, not really.
Oh.
That shirt is awesome.
That is Photoshop.
No, that is his neck.
Oh, Daddy
You think
Longneck.
Ned Stark would have had a problem beheading him.
Big target.
Big target there.
Probably behead him with a butter knife.
I mean, my goodness.
The Shrimp Gang? Is that what they call themselves?
He's a hustler, though.
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you that if you kick that kid's head back, a Pez comes out of his Adam's apple.
Look how massive that phone is in his hand.
That is a big phone. Or a small hand. What does it do?
No, that's a remote, isn't it?
I don't know.
Anyway, okay, finally, shower thoughts.
All right.
First one, nothing makes you sweat like remembering you didn't put on deodorant.
Oh, I know.
I always keep an extra thing of
Yeah,
deodorant here.
a confession. Sometimes I'll just slide my hand in my shirt and hit my armpit to see if it's on.
I do it all the time.
Yep.
If I think I've forgotten, all of a
Yep.
sudden I'm like,
Yep, I do that.
I'll run a finger there, give
Yep.
it a smell like I'm a German soccer coach.
Speaking of smells, another one, giraffes probably don't know what their own farts smell like.
Never get them. They never get them.
Y'all keep saying that. I don't smell anything.
It's fine way up here.
Another shower thought, you never see a snail arrive. They're just always there.
That's true. Hey, guys.
I don't know. Do you guys agree with this next one? A bad day that starts out bad is better than a bad day that starts out good.
No, I think I'd rather have some good memories.
Yeah.
At least I had a great morning.
No, I'd rather have a bad day starting bad but ending good, like end on a good note.
And finally, at some point, quite recently, we all decided that kitchen aprons don't need to be a thing anymore.
That is so true. Yeah. Can't remember the last time you've worn one at Burger King.
Yeah.
You know, we have, because of soccer, we have local news on in the studio a lot now because the games end and we don't know it. The theft out there these days, it's on local news a lot.
I can attest. It's a lot.
That's crazy. That's
Yep.
Trash, brought to you by.
Hey, home values are on the rise, but so are sky-high rent prices. Stop wasting money on rent. Start investing in a lifelong asset. Take control today by talking with our friends at Mortgage Right about your home ownership goals. Mortgage Right has the option, speed, and ease you're looking for when purchasing a home. Their mortgage experts are just a phone call away. They're always willing to answer your questions, guide you through the home buying process. Make the most of the current housing market by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. Become a homeowner today or call 205-815-9200. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
And this hour of the show always brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Open for lunch or dinner. Go by and see Sterling and his crew, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Brooks with a great question of the kid with the long neck. He wants to know what his neck worth was, Rockstar. His
the old neck worth.
That's pretty
Yes.
good. Yeah, back in a moment.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
The only place to get the best gear for game day is the Pants Store. 5 great locations in Crestline, Leeds, Trustful, Tuscaloosa, and Huntsville. You can also order at pantsstore.com and follow the Pants Store on social media. Game day hats, all your Yeti accessories, sunglasses, and game day polos from Antigua, Taylor and Mick, Johnny O, and Gentile. And guys, trust me, this is where your daughters and wife want to shop because of all the in-style fashions made especially for them. It's the Pants Store, Crestline, Leeds, Trustful, Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, and coming soon to Hoover and Auburn.
Unexpected expenses are every homeowner's nightmare. The longer you wait, the more the expense. That's why if you have water, fire, or mold damage to your home or business, you should call DryTech immediately. The quicker you call, the more you save. DryTech's professionals are accustomed to dealing with these situations and can guide you toward the quickest and most efficient solution to your problem. DryTech also offers 24/7 emergency services, so let DryTech prevent a minor problem from becoming a major one. Call DryTech 205-637-0143 or go online to mydrytech.com.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world, and try your luck on our popular sports parlay. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously, but as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At ERA King Real Estate, they're empowered by technology and driven by community. They have the most extensive training and the most innovative tools in the business. And they've now opened their 10th office location in Central Alabama. To find your agent in your neighborhood, text the word MOVE, M-O-V-E, to 35620. That's MOVE to 35620. In this crazy market, depend on a neighborhood friend. ERA King Real Estate. Growing to serve you.
Whether you're a weekend athlete or sports is your life, Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to help you stay in the game. If you have an injury or pain that says something's not right, let Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics help you make your greatest comeback. From concussions to sprained ankles, our experienced team is ready with treatment options. Find a doctor at precisionsportsortho.com/providers.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
Last week, Troy needed a win to get to the championship game and to keep their win streak alive. And I flipped on the TV, and they're down. And then they go on this unbelievable run in the fourth quarter and put away Arkansas State, and now they're playing for a championship and maybe a shot at a New Year's Six bowl game. We've said it a couple times on the show. If you're in the area or anywhere watching us and you're a Troy fan, it's a good time to go home this weekend and support a championship team in a championship setting on their home turf.
Man, that's just good coaching is what that is, Jim. John Sumrall is the head coach of the Troy Trojans. He's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What's up, Coach? How are you?
Hey, what's up, man? I really like you guys already. I appreciate y'all saying that. Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm glad that we're practicing football, getting ready for a game the first Saturday in December. That usually means it's a good thing in college football.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. But, I mean, I guess, well, first of all, let me ask you this. This is your first year. I mean, when you were on with us in the summer, we loved your enthusiasm. Did you envision being able to do this in year one?
Yeah, I didn't really maybe place expectations on record or conference championship or any of that. I thought we had a chance to be successful. I did. And that really started with when I got the job December the 2nd a year ago, there were several veteran experienced players who I knew from when I was here as an assistant that we recruited here that made the decision to return. Carlton Marshall, Austin Stidham, several guys that were sixth and fifth year players who made decisions to come back for one more year, and they wanted to leave a different mark than being 5 and 7. And so when we got those guys on board, I knew we had a chance to maybe flip things a little faster. Didn't know the record and what that would look like, but I knew from a cultural standpoint and the standards within the program of how we would operate, I knew we could get things turned around a little bit quicker the direction I wanted, because I knew those guys would create buy-in, and they would also reinforce the standards we were bringing as a new staff, because any team can be coach-led, but when you have player leadership, that's when special things happen.
Hey, Coach, going back to this past weekend, you guys are down 13-7 against Arkansas State at halftime. You scored 34 points in the fourth quarter. You've been coaching close to 2 decades now. Have you ever been involved in a 34-point quarter?
Not that I could think of at all. It was an onslaught once we got it going. All it took was a play or two to create some momentum, and then it was like the dam broke and the water was coming through for our guys, and it just created confidence. You know, we've been in that position a lot this year. I mean, we were down 10-0 to Louisiana Lafayette at halftime, and we got down 17-0 in the third quarter, and we won 23-17, and then we were down 9-0 against Army at halftime, which when you're down 2 scores to Army, that's like being down 4 scores to anybody else almost because of how they possess the ball. And I went in the locker room on Saturday at halftime, and I just told our guys, hey, look, we've played about as bad as we could play, all right? And we're down 6 points. And we've been here before. We've got this game right where we want it, because once we start playing good, look out. And I think our guys have developed confidence in finish the game, play the entire game, and don't waver. It's a 4-quarter game for a reason. They don't name a winner at halftime.
Well, you go back to the game day with game days at Appalachian State. You guys had played Ole Miss to the end and lost to a good Ole Miss team. You'd beaten Alabama A&M, and you have the nation watching you upset the darlings of college football at that time, and then one of the craziest plays you lose, and now you haven't lost since. What do you think your team learned and gained from that horrible moment at the end of that game?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the 11th game of the 2021 season, our team lost to App State at home 45-7. All right, the third game of the 2022 season, our team, for 59 minutes and 58 seconds, we played really good football, and we played really crappy one last play. And so a lot of heartbreak, a lot of emotion, a lot of frustration in the way that game finished by everybody, me included. But I think it showed the amount of growth that the young men on our team had made. Now, while we did not get the win, and I'm only okay with winning, I don't like losing. I don't like moral victories. I want tangible, real results of wins. I think it helped our players understand what we are doing is working. We just have to maybe recalibrate some things and hone in and be more detailed in certain areas. But it showed them that, hey, we can do this. We're improved. We're better. And I think the most impressive part of all of it was it's hard to get up off the mat after that. And the way our guys responded since that game is what's been extremely impressive to me. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know if we're sitting here talking about playing a championship game on Saturday if we win that game. We knocked that ball down. I'm not saying we wouldn't be, but I think it helped harden us. It helped help us grow. You grow through adversity, not through comfort and success. And I think we grew a lot in that moment.
Coach John Sumrall, head coach Troy, with us for a few more moments, getting ready for the Sun Belt Championship game. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. A reminder, Alabama Power allows you to pay with Amazon Pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, and Venmo. Easy, secure, and reliable. All you need is an online account, alabamapower.com/myaccount to get started. Just a few moments ago, Jamie Chadwell was on Sirius XM College. He says they hope Grayson McCall can practice this week, but if the game were today, he's an absolute no. You're obviously preparing for two guys. How difficult does that make it?
Yeah, their system is their system. Grayson's a fantastic player. I've got a lot of respect for him as a competitor. He's gritty. He's tough. He's a leader. There's a reason why they've been 31-5 the last 3 years and 20-4 in the Sun Belt Conference. And he's a big part of that. But at the same time, their program is bigger than one player, and they've created a great culture. They've got great schemes offensively. They kind of run some option stuff out of the gun, and they take vertical shots off of it. The last 3 years, they've averaged 500 yards a game against Troy the last 3 times we played them, 19, 20, and 21. And the offense does not really change in regards to what they do and how they do it. He is a really quality player. The other guys they got are pretty good players too. I mean, their third-string kid right now was their starter for some of 2018. I mean, he's been there for 6 years, I think, or 5 years. So they've got some guys that can play, but Grayson's a really good player. I wish him well. I love watching him play, but we got to prepare the same way regardless of who lines up at quarterback for them.
When you look in the AP poll right now, you guys are 26 when you're others receiving votes after winning 9 consecutive games. I know you've got a game to win, but do you ever think about if Tulane was to lose to UCF? I mean, UCF, they lost to East Carolina by 21. They lost at home to Navy. They barely beat South Florida. I mean, your resume technically is better than theirs. With a win, is there any hope of leapfrogging UCF in representing Group 5 for the New Year's Six?
I need to get you an AP vote or on the college football playoff selection committee. I think you'd be a great advocate for us, it sounds like. You
covered for me last week, Coach.
I might have texted a couple of people that are on the CFP and asked them, hey, I want to know how this process works after the season. But no, I think as a coach or as a player, you don't really look at what the rankings or the success was till after the year. I mean, nobody cares about in week 11 or 12 what you were ranked. It's all about where you finish at the very end. And we're very fortunate to be playing a very meaningful and impactful game this Saturday. It's got a trophy on the line. And then we're also very fortunate to be playing in a bowl game after that. We got 2 more. We get to play 2 games in December. That's pretty freaking cool. And so I would love for our kids to be ranked. I think it'd be a great opportunity for our program, but we got to just keep playing our brand of football. And if we do, I think that will handle itself.
Both these guys will tell you how often I talk about how good the Sun Belt is. After that App State loss, who App State had beaten Texas A&M, Marshall, Western Kentucky, Southern Miss, South Alabama, Louisiana. I mean, you go down that list there. That resonates with our Alabama and Auburn viewers, too. That's your resume. Quickly tell us about the Sun Belt Conference and just how good that league is football-wise, and you guys have a chance to be a champion. But top to bottom, that's a great football league.
Well, you just said some teams there. App State beat Texas A&M, right?
Right.
2 weeks before we beat Marshall, they beat Notre Dame.
Right.
All right. Southern Miss, who you said they beat Tulane, who's ranked, and we beat Southern Miss the very next week.
Exactly.
So there's some, like Notre Dame's in the top 25, Tulane's in the top 25, and they're deservedly so. They're good teams. But like this league, week in, week out, anybody can beat anybody. I mean, it is a juggernaut. I've coached in the SEC. I played in the SEC. I feel like this is the group of 5 version of the SEC, to be quite honest with you. I mean, we played Arkansas State last week, and I'm looking around, I'm like, these guys, they look pretty good to me for a team that's won 3 games. Well, it's because that league is ridiculously challenging, and so you go back, like we talked about, App beat Texas A&M. Texas A&M just beat LSU.
Yep.
And you can't play that game forever. I mean, but there's the brand of football here in the Sun Belt each and every week. Great coaches, great players, really quality fan bases. We're not even mentioning what, Lafayette's done. South's had a good year. South Owl's had a good year. Coastal's been coastal. I mean, JMU.
Yes.
How about JMU? They're pretty good. Like, there's a lot of teams, man, in this league that week in, week out, you can get your nose bloodied and your eye blackened if you're not ready to play.
All right, anywhere close to Troy, go be in Veterans Memorial Stadium, 2:30 Saturday. ESPN, if you can't make it, to watch Troy Coastal play for the Sun Belt Championship. Coach, we wish you the best of luck. I know it's a great, crazy week for you, but we appreciate you making the time for us.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that plug at the end. And by close to Troy, what you mean is the entire state of Alabama. We're the only FBS team playing on Saturday. So if you live in Alabama and you're not at the Troy game, you need to figure out, do you love football?
Yeah. Thank you, Coach. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
All right. Do not know how you don't pull for that guy. He is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
It was a year ago this week he actually took the job, and he's only 40 years old. As he said, he played in the SEC for Kentucky. You watch that team, and I was telling Dunaway and Break, I watched a lot of it because it was one of my few winners I had on Saturday. That fourth quarter was amazing, though. It started with a touchdown run and then a pick six, and then it just kind of exploded. But that guy's got a bright future.
Todd Fuhrman is coming up in our next segment here. Part of the show is being brought to you by our friends at Nut Dust. Tell us about Nut Dust, and then we'll bring Fuhrman from the dusty desert into talk football.
Yeah, let me pull what we've got as far as our special for Nut Dust right here. Again, Nut Dust is an all-natural powder. It's all over the body. But right now, they're going to offer the Cyber Monday special. Nut Dust, the perfect stocking stuffer for the cheeky person in your life. All natural body powder. It's available in 4 great scents. You buy one, you get 10% off. You buy 2, you get 20% off. Buy 3 or more, 30% off all the Nut Dust offers, or orders, I should say. Just go to officialnutdust.com. Put in that. Well, you don't even need a promo code. Just go to officialnutdust.com. Great stocking stuffers from our friends at Nut Dust.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. You're not average, and the New Balance Birmingham store has the shoes and apparel to perfectly match your unaverage self. If we were all shaped the same and had the same level of fitness, and if we all walked and ran exactly alike, well, then I guess an average shoe store selling average shoes would be just fine. But you deserve better. At the New Balance Birmingham store, our specialists will match you with a custom pair of New Balance shoes that fit you perfectly. Come see us at the New Balance Birmingham store. Your feet will thank you.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
After years searching for a classic jacket that was functional in the field and the city, Tom Beckby couldn't find one he liked, so he decided to make his own. Since designing that first jacket in 2015, Tom Beckby has continued to draw inspiration from natural settings to produce classic outdoor equipment with time-tested rugged materials. Visit the brand new Tom Beckby store in Mountain Brook Village, a local business with the goal of outfitting you for the outdoors here in Alabama and wherever the road takes you. Mountain Brook Village or online, TomBeckby.com. That's Tom, BECKBE.com. things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
The only place to get the best gear for game day is the Pants Store. 5 great locations in Crestline, Leeds, Trustful, Tuscaloosa, and Huntsville. You can also order at pantsstore.com and follow the Pants Store on social media. Game day hats, all your Yeti accessories, sunglasses, and game day polos from Antigua, Taylor and Mick, Johnny O, and Gentile. And guys, trust me, this is where your daughters and wife want to shop because of all the in-style fashions made especially for them. It's the Pants Store, Crestline, Leeds, Trustful, Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, and coming soon to Hoover and Auburn.
Stay up to date with the Next Round at nextroundlive.com. The latest videos from the show, plus podcasts like the Mystery Fifth Hour, Bama and Bourbon, Last Call, and others from the Double Down Media podcast family. You can start your day with the latest college football stories, plus easy to listen to hour-by-hour downloads of the live show. NextRoundLive.com, a great way to stream the show live or shop in the Next Round store. Make NextRoundLive.com your homepage. That's NextRoundLive.com.
The Next Round store is live and loaded. Check out the latest logo t-shirts and hoodies. Get your favorite team colors, the Next Round flag shirt, or grab the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest t-shirts. Go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Start your day online at nextroundlive.com. Get all the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. And it's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. The NFL playoffs are just around the corner and every game matters. Join us on the Next Round and Pepsi every Thursday as we preview the upcoming big games in the NFL weekend. Pepsi and the NFL, a perfect match for your weekend.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and our entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Seth wants to know, is there a promo code for the Nut Dust? It is, absolutely, right?
You can put in TNR, but I think it works for everyone right now with that Cyber Monday special.
We're about to talk to Todd Fuhrman out in the desert, typical desert fashion. I just lost gambling again. Brownie, here's your
Thank you, Jim.
American crisp dollar on the
$1
spin of the wheel.
dollar bill from Dunaway.
Already on the show today, Tom Luginbill from a hot tub, Clay Travis from his Ivory Tower, and John Sumrall from Troy. We're about to talk to Todd Fuhrman now. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Bromberg's.
Yeah, Bromberg's, they are your diamond specialists. Look, if you're thinking about popping the question this holiday season, you need to make sure you get into one of those 2 great locations at Bromberg's, Mountain Brook and the Summit. Family owned and operated since 1836. They've established themselves solid reputation as a fine purveyor of quality diamonds as well as jewelry, timepieces, and gifts. Again, if you're looking to pop the question, you need to go see the Diamond Specialist. 2 locations, Mountain Brook and the Summit. You can also view their online store, brombergs.com.
All right, Todd Fuhrman is in the desert. BetTheBoardPodcast.com, at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter. Fuhrman, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well, guys, and I just hope for your sake, when you bring in a former Nashville resident now and Trent Dilfer as head coach of UAB, that doesn't mean Clay has an existing relationship, and you're going to be stuck with Clay trying to make annual pilgrimages down there to see you guys face-to-face.
He already
brought it up. He already brought it up that they drive around and wave at each other in golf carts in his gated community.
Yep. He's a neighbor, he said, Fuhrman.
Yeah, well, I mean, that may be guilt by association, but the UAB football program can deal with that in its own due time.
All right, let's talk some championship week football. I want to start in the SEC. Georgia is a massive favorite over LSU. Do you see anything LSU could do? I mean, 18.5, it's highly unlikely they win the game. What can they do to keep inside that 18.5?
They can try and bring back Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, and Joe Burrow to try and keep this game competitive from start to finish. But I think, honestly, guys, the handicap on this one, not to oversimplify, if Georgia wants to win by a margin, Georgia can go out there and win by a margin. And for all the things that this Bulldogs team has been able to accomplish over the last couple of seasons, the one item missing from their resume is that SEC championship. You had Kenny McIntosh this week talking about how a lot of the freshmen back then remember 2019. They want to try and atone for that and get that win against LSU. The other problem for the Tigers here is Jaden Daniels was seen in a walking boot on Monday. I know Brian Kelly said he's going to be okay for the game, but so much of what LSU does offensively relies on Jaden Daniels' mobility. If he's not able to provide a viable rushing threat, it makes him a sitting duck. I think Georgia builds an early lead. Maybe that back door is open if you want to make a case for LSU, but I think Georgia is outside this full game number, potentially by halftime. I like the Bulldogs minus 9.5 in the first half.
So, Fuhrman, I know USC's only loss is to Utah, where Utah was a 3.5-point favorite in Salt Lake City, so SC got under the number there. I'm a little surprised this number is 2.5. I thought it would be 3.5, maybe even 4, just based on the fact no Tavion Thomas, Cameron Rising's not playing the level he was playing when they beat USC, and the fact that all the money's going to be on SC, especially in Vegas.
Yeah, the number has gotten out to a field goal. There was some buyback that came in this morning. You mentioned LT. We're now down at 2.5. I don't get as high as 2.5, 3 with my numbers. I'm much closer to a pick 'em. But it's also not a USC team that I think I want to step in front of. I had Notre Dame last week, realized they were outclassed more or less from the opening kickoff. Now, the Drew Pine fumble to start the second half was probably the final nail in that coffin. But the problem for Utah is defensively, they leave a lot to be desired. And the reality of it is, you look at when they stepped up in class this season, they've given up yards in bunches. You mentioned Cam Rising trending the wrong way. I watched that Oregon game in its entirety, and he did not look comfortable in the pocket at all in terms of taking off when there were some running lanes to be had or even planting. I threw out games against Colorado and Stanford. They couldn't get pressure on the 4 of us. So it comes with a little bit of an asterisk. And you mentioned what it's going to be like out here. There's no doubt that books are going to have a ton of liability going to the Trojans, but you hate to factor this into the calculus. The Pac-12 needs USC to get a win here to get back into the college football playoff for the first time since 2016. So if there's a little bit more clutching and grabbing and holding along that offensive line, it wouldn't shock me whatsoever. Not a game I'm running to bet. My numbers support a play on Utah, but this is a game I'll be on the sidelines for.
The one that everyone seems to be circling for the upset, and I'll be honest, I've done it. This will be 7 of 13 weeks that I think that TCU loses the game outright. But they too are a skinny 2.5-point favorite. Do you think Kansas State can pull the upset? Because they had them beat earlier this year one time.
Yeah, they did. They were up 28-10 in that game, and then they kind of unraveled, not scoring for the final 2 quarters plus in that contest. Will Howard left for a stretch, and that was kind of all she wrote when TJ Rubley throws an interception, and things spiraled. You look at TCU, and this team is 9-2-1 against the number. One of those 2 failures, ATS, came in that narrow victory against Baylor just a few weeks ago. And maybe the betting market hasn't quite caught up to them enough. My buy point here with Kansas State would be 3. So we'll see if the number does indeed get there. I think Chris Kleiman's team trending in the right direction, a little bit healthier here. They know what their identity is with Will Howard. And more importantly, Deuce Vaughn wasn't quite 100%, so they couldn't lean on him as much the first time around. Meanwhile, for TCU, Kendry Miller's been outstanding. Scored a touchdown in every single game for the Frogs this year, has taken on an increased workload. Quentin Johnston should be healthier, not quite at 100%, but Max Dugan remains that X factor. I think this is probably the most exciting game of Championship Saturday. And for me, if it gets to 3, I'll value bet Kansas State here. But much like you guys, TCU has not been kind to me at the betting window. I'm still trying to figure out how Iowa State ends up losing last week by 48 points when they only have a net yardage differential of minus 47.
Todd Fuhrman is with us, bettheboardpodcast.com, bettheboardpodcast.com. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Don't forget they're still closing out the 22s at Johnston RV Center to make room for the 23s. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com. Big savings there, JohnstonRVCenter.com. Lance and Jim, get to ask you about the good games. I'm apparently asking you about the bad games. I started with Georgia, LSU. Let's talk Michigan, Purdue. Michigan, a 16.5-point favorite. It's the same basic question. I can't see Purdue winning this game. Can they give Michigan any trouble, though?
Big storyline here, the unfortunate situation around Aiden O'Connell, who tragically lost his brother this week. So he's been away from the team. Coach Braun believes he'll be back in a full capacity, but you do wonder how disjointed the practices have been. And from an X's and O's football standpoint, you want Purdue to be as aggressive offensively as they can. They can go in with a true underdog mentality. They have absolutely nothing to lose, becoming only the second unranked team to play in the Big Ten championship since Wisconsin did it back in 2012. You look at Purdue on the defensive side, I think they'll struggle to slow down Michigan's ground game, even if Blake Corum is out and Donovan Edwards is somewhat limited in this spot as a receiver. You started to see Michigan convert on the deep balls, and maybe that's a part of their arsenal that we're going to see more in this spot in through the college football playoff. But it's the total, I think, that makes the most sense. If you want to bet this game, look to go under 52. It's highly correlated with the underdog. I just don't see a scenario where Purdue covers unless their defense does some of its bidding, even knowing that they've been a giant killer, going 3-0 straight up the last 3 times that the Boilers have played an AP-ranked top 5 team.
Furman, 3 weeks ago, I thought we might get 11-1 in the ACC championship with Clemson and North Carolina, but the bottom fell out of both teams. Now Clemson's -7.5. I don't know what kind of Drake May we get. We kind of know what you're going to get at the Clemson quarterback position, but which way do you lean?
Yeah, Drake May, a little bit disappointing over the last 2 weeks. And you wonder if the talented freshman has hit a wall. His legs, not exactly a major part of North Carolina's game plan and losses to Georgia Tech and last week against NC State. Kind of a self-indictment of their offensive coordinator, Phil Longo, saying he didn't prepare the team well enough for the drop 8 that NC State deployed. Apparently, he hasn't watched how NC State's played defense over the last 3 seasons in any capacity. But you mentioned Clemson. They kind of limped to the finish with a disappointing effort against South Carolina. I mean, DJU was downright awful from an accuracy standpoint. A little bit surprised to see Brandon Streeter go away from Will Shipley, who was averaging right around 9 yards per touch, only carried it 6 times in that second half. But the one thing we've seen from Clemson in the past is they typically bounce back well after a loss. North Carolina, this will be the first time all year, and I didn't know this was possible in a Power 5 conference, that they'll play a ranked team inside the AP Top 25 the week of the game. They've really been a beneficiary of a soft schedule. Shouldn't diminish what they've been able to accomplish, but I think Clemson's defense going to prove to be too much for Drake May and Josh Downs. I like Clemson to potentially win this game going away and lean under the total as well.
Likely New Year's 6 bowl berth on the line. Tulane hadn't been to a big bowl game since 1940. Tulane and UCF. Tulane, the slight favorite there. Can Gus Malzahn get a championship back to Orlando?
You know what? I think Tulane, having had a chance to see the speed and the athleticism that UCF throws at them, will pay dividends in this particular spot. We saw the number open as low as 2.5. We're out to 4, more or less, across the board. The total holding strong at 57. Willie Fritz deserves Coach of the Year, in my opinion, for what he's been able to do down there, turning a team that finished 2-10 last year into a potential, Power 6 bowl game matchup with largely the same talent pool. Tajay Spears is an outstanding running back. And when I look at this UCF team, last week's game left me scratching my head, whether they took their foot off the accelerator or USF was able to identify some weaknesses in that defense. I think Tulane's able to avenge the earlier season defeat, and I'd shop around a little bit. Look to lay 3.5 here. Numbers tight, but I think Tulane finds a way to cap off what's really been a Cinderella season for the Green Wave.
Do you guys put odds on who will make the college football playoffs out there? Like, where would Alabama be sitting right now in your head? Is it 0? Is it 1%, 2%? How do you look at Alabama's chances?
No, it's a little bit higher than that. We do know about the pedigree for Alabama. Clearly, they're going to need some things to break the right way for that to happen. And if you're shopping around, you can find a price on Alabama right in that 8.5, 9-1 range for them to make the college football playoff. I think you have to start with a loss to TCU and USC for Bama to receive any consideration. I mean, I said last week that I think even though they have 2 losses on their resume, what they've accomplished this season is a little bit better than Ohio State. They weren't boat raced in their own building for the biggest game of the season. When you talk about going into hostile territory like LSU and Knoxville, losing those games. But unfortunately for Alabama fans, I don't think they end up in the college football playoff. What is interesting, though, when you look at some of the odds that are out there, I've seen books making TCU as high as a 1-7 favorite to make the college football playoff, which suggests to me they really believe even if the Horned Frogs lose to Kansas State this weekend, they would still get in with a 12-1 undefeated regular season coming out of the Big 12. And it makes you wonder if Ohio State's only path to getting into the Final Four would be USC losing to Utah Friday night out here in the desert.
Furman, two of the bigger NFL games in the late window Sunday, Dolphins at 49ers and Chiefs at Bengals. I'll hope that Lance asks you something on Dolphins 49ers. I'll ask you Chiefs Bengals. Are you a Bengals believer? It's a resurgent Cincinnati team.
They've played it extremely well, and they're only going to get better going forward offensively. We'll see what Jamar Chase looks like in his return to the lineup. I can't imagine he'll be close to 100%. Joe Mixon should clear concussion protocol as well. What's interesting about this matchup, clearly some revenge on the mind of the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Bengals acquitted themselves quite nicely last week when another AFC opponent had a revenge. Mahomes has been pretty outspoken about how disappointed they were with the second half they put forth last year in the AFC Championship. Guys, I think we see points, and we see points early in this game. My best betting angle would be to go over the first half total at 26 before Lou Anarumo has a chance to make some of those halftime adjustments. And Kansas City, used last week against the Rams as a glorified dress rehearsal. I fully expect them to be extremely sharp right out of the gate.
Okay, I didn't plan on asking you that,
come on.
so we'll come back to it. But real quick, and I'm not about to jump on this because I haven't yet, but is there anything more certain right now wagering than playing unders in Denver Bronco games?
You know what? You just wonder when that defense is going to quit. I mean, that's the only thing you really have to worry about with them because offensively, they're not going to scare anybody. And yet again this week, to your point, LT, you're seeing under money come in. 41 is where this total opened. We're now down to 38. We'll see if it continues to trend down. But Russell Wilson looks like a shell of himself. There doesn't appear to be any improvement offensively, continuity-wise, or other. And you're going to get a pissed-off Ravens team who let a glorious opportunity to continue to find separation in the AFC North get away from them last week in Jacksonville. So I think Baltimore's defense can suffocate this game. Would lean under the total as well. It wouldn't shock me if we're talking about a game finishing somewhere in the ballpark of 24-7.
All right, I'm going to hold my Dolphins questions for the lead up to the Super Bowl with Furman, okay?
Okay,
I'll
very
do you
good,
guys a
very
favor there. Furman, thank you for the time. Enjoy the championship weekend. We'll do it next week.
Hey, always a pleasure, gentlemen. You guys do the same.
All right, buddy. Take care. Todd Fuhrman with us, bettheboardpodcast.com, at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. UAB has announced a 4:30 news conference. That's when you UAB fans will get to see Trent Dilfer introduced as your coach.
Trent Dilfer coaching UAB football, man. That's a pretty amazing announcement coming up at 4:30 today for UAB. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Gutter Cap. A big thank you to one of our viewers and listeners in just a second, but Gutter Cap.
Yeah, it's a patent aluminum cover system. It fits over most existing gutters, keeping that debris out. Eliminate gutter cleaning forever. It's back with a lifetime warranty. I was on my way from taking little man home last night, and leaves just blowing all over with that storm. So leaves are still coming down. One thing you don't want to do this weekend after working all week is get out the dangerous ladder and get on the roof. It's a dirty, dangerous job. You slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Make the phone call that I made years ago, 205-823-2212, 45% off the retail price. They've also got an end-of-the-year special. Ask my good friend Chris Stewart about that. For more information, guttercapbirmingham.com.
You guys, if you ever consume us off of Spotify, the audio platform, it's that time of year where you get your year-end update on your most listened to artist, song, podcast, whatever. Napster Haven has sent us a screen capture of his most listened to podcast, which is The Next Round. He has listened during this calendar year to 22,777 minutes of Next Round programming.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. We're getting a lot of people who are in their top 5 or their number 1 or number 2. And if you guys want to send them to us, I'll tell you what.
We'll package them up.
We'll package them up. I'm willing to do this. I'll find out in the break what we can offer store credit-wise or something. Whoever.
If you send us a screenshot of us in your top podcast listened to on Spotify.
I was going to say the one with the most minutes listened.
Yeah, we could do that, but we could also, not that this really, it might not matter to you, we can make sure that we all follow you back, anybody that submits this.
I'll tell you, here's what we'll do. The most minutes listened will win something from the store. We'll determine what it is. We're doing this on the fly. And then everybody else that sends us the screen grab will draw, and you'll win. So everybody's got a shot to be a winner.
I just followed Napster back.
All right.
Yeah, pretty amazing. 22,777 minutes. We're not live on Spotify, so that's downloaded podcast
right, buddy.
Minutes right there. So thank you so much to all of you who consume us in different ways. And again, we love it when you send us pictures wearing your TNR gear, your Next Round gear, whether you're at a game, just hanging out. If you get some of that during Christmas, please send us those pictures as well. Napster Haven, I don't think, is in the Aliceville prison.
Kevin said, well, the Aliceville prison just got a crap ton of store credit. What if they do have a shared account?
That's not gonna be. That's kind of cheating if they have a shared account. We need individual accounts.
Commissary, they're trying to decide: do I get some lemon heads today, or
do I want to listen to the next round?
All right, but
So
thank you
good.
guys, amazing. We love to see that stuff when we roll in. All right, a lot more to do on the show when we come back, including our 4 downs in the next segment. We also have our sneaky good games this weekend, and a lot more as we roll through this final hour of the show right here on the next round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Whether you're a weekend athlete or sports is your life, Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to help you stay in the game. If you have an injury or pain that says something's not right, let Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics help you make your greatest comeback. From concussions to sprained ankles, our experienced team is ready with treatment options. Find a doctor at precisionsportsortho.com/providers.
Culver's could have only started in Wisconsin. Just ask our team member Marcus.
Let's just say you can't take America's Dairyland out of Culver's. Like the real Wisconsin cheese on our juicy butter burgers, the farm fresh dairy in our fresh frozen custard, even our crispy golden Wisconsin cheese curds. It may sound cheesy, but we love where we come from at Culver's.
Almost as much as we love sharing it with our guests. Welcome to Delicious.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
Start your day on our website, nextroundlive.com. The morning rounds give you the top links to the stories you need to see before going to lunch with your buddies. At nextroundlive.com, you can also watch and listen to the show live, or download our top podcast and shop in the Next Round store. New arrivals, new downloads, new shows, new contests, all on one website, nextroundlive.com. Make it your homepage, nextroundlive.com.
Holly Mack Wilson wants you to have a safe and enjoyable holiday season. To protect your home and keep it safe, Holly suggests the following. Water your tree daily. Keep your packages out of sight from doors and windows. If you travel, secure your home before leaving. Check all electrical circuits and don't overload them. And consider smart technology to protect your home. For more information, call Holly Mack Wilson today, 205-901-9446 or hollymachomes.com. Happy holidays to all from Holly Mack Wilson and anywhere in Alabama, Keller Williams agent.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round hosts a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, presented by Redmont Vodka. LT has in-depth conversations with personalities like Clay Travis and Taylor Hicks. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple and Spotify. And remember to like and subscribe.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
4 downs here in just a second. Couple more basketball notes in the conversation here today, brought to you by our friends at Greystone Chiropractic.
Yeah, and let me just say this. We're figuring something out for the app. I got Spotify out there. We're going to do the app. We're going to do everybody. Okay, everybody's going to have a chance of winning. I'm going to take care of this. This is my project for December. What are you laughing at?
Hey, before you tell us about Dr. Lee, I just sent Dr. Lee a text. I didn't realize that you guys were going to do the spot right here.
Big Dolphins fan.
Yep, he is.
Yep. Hey, Dr. Lee is at Greystone Chiropractic. I'm figuring it out. That was my project for December.
No, I was laughing about it. You always say he's a big Dolphins fan.
Who, Dr. Lee?
Yeah.
Well, he is. Big Dolphins fan, Dunaway.
Get to it, man.
Why do you hate that?
I don't hate it.
Why do you hate the Dolphins, Dunaway? Greystone Chiropractic is at Tattersall Park off 280 on 119. And right there under the same roof is Element Wellness. You can see more online, elementwellness.me. But let me tell you what they do. They help you heal better, look better, and feel better, right? IV vitamin therapy, cryotherapy, infrared sauna, red light therapy, holistic nutrition consulting, all right there at Element Wellness, elementwellness.me, elementwellness.me, Tattersall Park, just off 280 and 119. Again, all you YouTube watchers, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, everybody, we got a lot of platforms. We'll go figure out a way to pick a winner from all platforms. This is my project. Dunaway's going to piss on it right now as soon as I finish.
I'm not.
This is my project for December. I'm taking.
Is it going to take that long to figure out?
It is, Lance.
No, I just feel bad for Taylor that on her birthday, she's out back right now cleaning the shit off your shoes that you stepped in the last segment.
I would not ask her to do that. I am going to do this. I am going to take care of this. This is my project. Nobody else. I'm not asking anybody's help.
Is there a way Scipio will be able to take this out of Brown's paycheck?
Nope.
Does anybody remember their Scipio password?
I don't remember any passwords.
You're asking Lance that?
Yeah, I don't need you to say you don't remember anything else today because the chat room killed you earlier when you said you didn't remember anything.
The ugly sweater, I didn't until we started to talk about it a little bit again, and then the Ladybird thing.
So we attached it to Ladybird, yes.
Can I just ask one question? I'm catching
Jim.
3 or 4 flakes of glitter on your forehead and right below your right eye.
It's probably from the studio.
Is it from the studio?
No, I've been hanging out with strippers in the.
Well, you do have a scrape on your nose too. I thought they might be the same. Same affliction.
It's getting missiles launched at him.
No, I didn't know if like my daughter has some makeup that has glitter in it.
Yeah.
And used to, when I would hug her, it would like come off of my sports coat or something, and I would spend hours getting it off my sports coat. And I didn't know if like the roommate had glittered makeup or eyeliner or something.
No, when I leave in the morning, the roommate's in the sheets 100%. So, yeah, there's glitter all over this place right now.
Oh, yeah, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
It's the holiday season. That means it's time to do 4 downs, brought to you by Vulcan Tires.
5 great locations, including that new location in Pell City. This holiday season, if you're getting on the road, make sure you get a look at your car. Bumper to bumper, these guys can handle it. From the brake pads, wheel alignment, tires, and more. For more information, VulcanTireAndAuto.com.
Will says he has more confidence in Brown driving an Uber than him fixing this problem.
I love the humor Dunaway's getting out of this. Oh, I'm trying to do something nice for our audience.
There's not a better person on this show that's more self-deprecating than I am. Can I not have a little fun with you guys occasionally? I mean, I said something to LT about his computer yesterday. He bit my head off. I was like, I'm the butt of 98% of the jokes on this show.
No, you didn't say that. What you said was, does it seem like you and I are doing a separate show from him a lot of times?
I saw that glitter when you turned your
And
head.
you're the guy
I apologize.
The Big Ben guy, where you'll repeat something after we just said it.
A little edgy up here, right, sir? A little edgy.
Got a lot of balls in the air.
Earlier today, I forget what it was, Brown 100% did it. I talked talked about Georgia hadn't won an SEC championship since 2017, and then Brown
I
echoed
know.
that.
And he asked me about SC too. But.
Yeah, it's okay. It's been a busy day for Brown.
I got an idea.
First down.
You said that before I did it. Georgia 2017?
Laid it out.
Yeah, you do it all the time.
Hunter Henry. No, not Hunter Henry. Derrick Henry makes this a much more interesting question.
Hunter could be better too.
Derrick Henry or Jalen Hurts in their game this weekend, more rushing yards. Who's got more rushing yards in that big contest this weekend?
Oh, I am going to go Jalen Hurts. I mean, right now.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a blowout.
I think
then, isn't it?
offensively, when you look at Tennessee, they're relying a ton on Derrick Henry. And, his majority of his yards last week were a reception. Yeah, and I like this. Of course, everybody runs on the Eagle defense. But I still go Jalen Hurts.
Henry got run down from behind last week, which you used to never see happen. He's lost a step, hasn't he?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, guy's had a billion carries.
And he runs into a wall.
Yeah, all the
every
time.
week.
I'll still go Derrick Henry. Boy, if Jalen Hurts outrushes Derrick Henry, what's the score in this game? A lot to a little.
But you game plan to stop Derrick Henry. That's how you game plan the Titans. So that'll be a focus. But I think I would lean Derrick Henry a little bit as well in that contest.
Second down.
Trent Dilfer at 4:30 Central today becomes the new coach at UAB. Better Super Bowl winning quarterback, Trent Dilfer or Brad Johnson?
Brad Johnson.
Both are considered to be two of the worst quarterbacks ever to win a Super Bowl. Game managers, if you will.
To me, Brad Johnson's best seasons were better than Trent Dilfer's. I'd have to go back and look at that, but I thought Brad Johnson was a better quarterback.
What about the year they won the Super Bowl? Like Brad Johnson did have some good years, but he was they won around him at Tampa when they won the Super Bowl.
No, they did, and y'all's defense was really good that year.
But it wasn't as good as Baltimore's.
No.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore's defense, that was like 85 Bears, and that Baltimore's defense are widely, I think, regarded as the best defenses in the history of the NFL. Was that Super Bowl Dilfer versus Kerry Collins? Am I right about that?
It is.
Yeah,
or was.
Which was you add Kerry Collins to this group.
Kerry Collins, I bumped him out because he lost to Dilfer.
He was third, right?
Yeah, he didn't win the Super Bowl, so I bumped him out.
The first Brad Johnson that bumps up is Brad Johnson, American actor, model, and Marlboro Man.
That's not him.
How about that?
That was not him.
The old Marlboro Man. That guy doesn't get a lot of work anymore, the Marlboro Man.
Is he a smoker? How many Marlboro points does he have?
I think he might be dead.
I think he's actually passed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Third down.
Let's go to the ACC Championship game. Two questions, the final two downs here about ACC Championship game quarterbacks. DJ Uiagalelei at Clemson or another school next year?
Well, I mean, Dabo won't play Cade Klubnik now, so you think he encourages him to go ahead and hit the portal because Cade start next year no matter what? Dabo's a loyal guy, man. It'd be hard to think of him doing that, but
he's got more recruits coming in.
He did it to Kelly Bryant.
Yep.
But that was because Trevor Lawrence was behind Kelly Bryant, and you just couldn't in your right mind go on not playing Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if Klubnik is anywhere close to that level. I'm assuming by the fact that he never played against South Carolina when DJ couldn't throw it into the ocean. Yeah, I'm going to say DJ transfers.
I think DJU's somewhere else next year too. What about you?
I kind of lean that way. I'm shocked that, and I know it was in garbage time, but Klubnik, watching how that team kind of rallied around him when he came in against Georgia Tech earlier this season, based on the fact that DJU has struggled, I'm shocked that he's not starting. Klubnik.
Fourth down.
Drake May at North Carolina next year or a different school? And it's not just an Alabama question. He could be anywhere, or he could stay at North Carolina. But keep an eye on Phil Longo, who has a long history with who? Hugh Freeze. Longo's the OC at North Carolina. Hugh Freeze may want to bring Longo with him to Auburn. We'll see if Longo's part of the plans of being the OC with Hugh Freeze. Longo, Hugh Freeze reuniting. You could convince Drake May maybe to come with you.
Boy, I will tell you, that is a game changer for the Auburn Tigers if that was to happen. I would lean right now that Drake May is, of course, I don't know, the last couple of games, maybe he tells himself, look, it's going to be impossible to win a championship here. If I want to be high profile, I'm going to the SEC, I'm going to the Big Ten.
That's my point. I mean, he's had a Heisman winning level year, and they're in the ACC championship game, but that's it. And I know that's not anything to sneeze at for North Carolina, but if you really want to win a big-time championship, I think it's abundantly clear you're not going to do it at North Carolina. Do you think Drake May, you say he and Phil Longo, Hugh Freeze and Phil Longo, does Drake May have like some good Chad Kelly in him maybe? Do you see a little Chad Kelly and Drake May, like really good Chad Kelly?
I think Drake May's better.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying, do you see some similarities?
Yeah.
I could see some similarities, yeah.
Yeah, better passer than Malik Willis. Maybe the same kind of runner. I mean, Drake May's a pretty good runner.
Oh, he is a good runner.
Yeah. Interesting 4 downs. That's brought to you by our friend, not just because I wrote it, but
Yeah,
brought to you by our friends at Vulcan Tires.
5 locations, including the newest location in Pell City. Make sure you get a look at the car bumper to bumper this holiday season. Locally owned and operated. Great guys. For more information, VulcanTireandAuto.com. The numbers really aren't even close. So Trent Dilfer completed 55% of his passes throughout his career, 113 touchdowns, 129 interceptions. Brad Johnson completed 62% of his passes, 166 touchdowns, 122 interceptions.
So you stick with Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
God, those guys had a lot of very close on the touchdown to interception ratio, weren't they?
Yeah, even then a little bit of a different game.
Not really.
162 to 1 what?
22.
Well, that's only a 40 interception difference over a career.
No, but Dilfer was minus 26 in his career.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those two, not too close together. I'm saying,
yeah.
For 2 guys who won Super Bowls, there's not a big gap between the number of touchdowns they threw and the number of interceptions they threw.
No, and just to look at this, Dilfer, his court. I didn't realize he only quarterbacked for Baltimore 1 year.
Yeah, just a Super Bowl championship year.
12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions that year. Your year you won the Super Bowl was 2002?
2002, yes.
Yeah, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Yeah, good year for Brad Johnson. Yeah. Managed that thing all the way to a Super Bowl. All right.
Dilfer's a better coach, though.
Dilfer's a better coach. Okay. Is Brad even coach?
I don't think his kid plays football, though.
Dilfer will be the head coach of UAB a little bit later on. Quick Rockstar viewing menu here brought to you by our friends at New Life Art. What is Rockstar watching tonight, Rocky?
All right. Thought we were going to do a read there.
Well, we'll let him do that on the backside.
Okay. Let me just get this open.
I can do this.
All right, we're here. Disney Plus premiered. Were you guys Willow fans? The movie from 1988.
I don't remember it.
No, look, I don't remember. What I remember is that little creepy thing. It's got to be the same person, right? Or did they superimpose it?
Willow. Yeah, Warwick Davis is his name.
Is he? That's the same
alive.
one?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Wow.
Plays Leprechaun. He's in it. It's the series based on the 1988 movie. Val Kilmer will not be reprising his role as Mad Mardigan. And then 7 p.m. on Showtime.
I've never heard of this movie, by the way.
It's kind of like Lord of the Rings.
It's called Willow?
Willow. He's a little dwarf guy that tries to get a Laura Dan and this little special child. A witch takes her. You got to take her. He's a magician. 7 p.m. on Showtime, too. If I told you there's a documentary called Meet Me in the Bathroom, what would you think it's about?
Club sex.
Or smoking.
Or smoking.
Smoking.
I'm going to say the Cocaine Cowboys of the 80s.
An in-depth look at the early 2000s New York City rock scene in a time when many thought the city would no longer produce iconic rock bands. A rebirth of sorts swept through the city following bands like The Strokes, LCD Sound System, Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and TV on the Radio.
I like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs and The Strokes.
Strokes are really good, but that's supposed to be a really good documentary. Meet Me in the Bathroom.
Yeah. I used to have this app when the iPad first came out. And I'd love to know what the name of the app is and if they still make it. But the first Christmas I got the iPad, one of the first apps I went to and downloaded, it was free at the time. It would be a bunch of panels would come up. And it would have the band's name on it. And you would hit the panel. And I loved just the interaction. You'd hit the panel and then everything would again. And that panel would open up and it would play either a live a recorded live part of a concert or them in the recording studio or them performing a song, their most popular song. And that's the first time I saw the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Yeah Yeah Yes.
Yeah Yeah Yes. Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. But I remember the name and I was like, oh, I like this band. That's the first time I ever saw the Lumineers was on that little app, but I don't know what it was called. And I can't remember it now.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
I've never heard of that app.
Has anybody ever experienced that?
No.
Okay. Everyone... Meet Me in the Bathroom, the Rick Pitino story, the Ben Roethlisberger story, the Heinz, just a list of them.
I did see the
George
first
Michael.
episode of Chippendales, Rocky.
What did you think?
Well, I thought it was fascinating how Chippendales came to be. And I didn't realize Dorothy Stratton, I don't know if you remember who that was. It was the Playmate of the Year she was murdered when she was 20 by her very jealous ex-husband. But she was involved with her very jealous ex-husband at the beginning. But it was a dude that basically ran a gas station, and he decided he was looking for something. Started out as a backgammon club, took his entire life savings.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that wasn't working.
Backgammon?
Backgammon.
Take it a step up. Take it a step up.
Well, his rationale was, this many million Americans play backgammon. We're in Los Angeles. There's not one backgammon club, so we're going to try to have a really nice backgammon club. Didn't work out. He was looking for his next big thing.
So he said, "Okay, we're gonna serve drinks, backgammon club with no shirts on."
What do you guys think about bow ties?
No, he gets taken to. I've seen Star 80, by the way. It is a good movie with Eric Roberts. He gets taken to a gay disco. And this one dude gets on this platform and starts taking off his shirt, and everybody starts going nuts. And he's like,
I got an idea.
That's it.
Yep.
Male strippers.
Yep.
And everybody thought he was stupid. And he brings in like this Emmy-winning choreographer. And so it's pretty interesting. I mean,
It does sound interesting.
Yeah,
the Thunder from Down Under that is very popular out in
like
Vegas, the big review show, that's not the Chippendales. Those are like competing brands, right?
I'm guessing so.
Yeah, I thought the Thunder from Down Under was a dessert at Outback.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Both.
Yes.
And I've had both.
Hey, our game week special from our friends at New Life Art. Buy one 8x10 Collegiate Classic print. Get a second one free. You can shop now at DanielMooreArt.com. Plus, get a free Iron Bowl Gold Open Edition book with your purchase. No code needed. Free gift will automatically appear in the shopping cart when $20 has been added. Again, to check out his incredible work, go to DanielMooreArt.com.
When we come back, our sneaky good games, the spotlight this weekend. Could be football, could be in the NFL, college football, NFL football, could be basketball. We'll do a little sneaky good game next right here on TNR.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items, and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com.
ERA King Real Estate is on the move. They've just opened a new state-of-the-art office in Homewood, as well as new offices in Vestavia and Huntsville. The real estate market has never been crazier than it is right now. That's why, with 52 years of experience, ERA King Real Estate is growing to serve you. To find out more, text the word MOVE to 35620. That's MOVE, M-O-V-E, to 35620. ERA King Real Estate, growing to serve you.
For more than 40 years, Jack's Western and Outdoor Wear has been providing you and your family the best in Western wear. From boots to apparel, this family-owned business has it all. Jack's carries such name brands as Dan Post, Justin, Twisted X, and now has the only area shop within a shop in the state of Alabama. Visit Jack's Western and Outdoor Wear every Monday through Saturday. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman. Just look for the big red building and follow Jack's Western and Outdoor Wear on Facebook and Twitter.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Football season is back, and so are tailgates. It's time to win that tailgate with Champy's world-famous fried chicken right on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and his winning team will open up the doors so you can dine in or an easy-to-go pickup when you order at champyschicken.com. At Champy's, you experience southern staples like chicken on a stick and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales that are to die for. Hand-cut chicken tenders and a whole lot more right on your way home or to the big game. Highway 119 in Alabaster. For Blues, Brews, and Bird, it's Champy's Chicken.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-patted each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Do you want to have the experience of a lifetime and help a great charity at the same time? If you've ever dreamed of taking a few laps around Talladega Superspeedway, now is your chance. Join us on Saturday, December 3rd from 9 to 1 for track laps for charity. For only $50, you can climb behind the wheel of your own vehicle and take 3 laps around Talladega Superspeedway. If you don't want to take the drive, you can still come out and tour the Talladega Garage experience for free. All proceeds will benefit Toys for Tots. That's Saturday, December 3rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
If you're looking for a great way to enjoy the championship weekend and not have to get up and back and forth to the kitchen, our friends at Slice will provide some unbelievable pizza pies for you to enjoy the games coming up this weekend. And the thing I love most about Slice, other than the fact my daughter has worked there a couple of times, they have such a unique variety of pizza. The Sweet Heat one now is one of my favorites.
I haven't had the Sweet Heat. What's on it?
It's got some spicy honey.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that on the menu. It looks good.
And
yeah.
it's got a little Canadian bacon on it. It's a nice flavor there. But I've always loved the spicy Hawaiian.
Look, the Bajayas, since they created Slice, my late good friend Jeff Bajaya, Jason Bajaya, Chris Bajaya, they did such a great job with the concept, and it continues to expand. So the original in Lakeview, then we've got one in Vestavia right down the road from us here, the newest one in Montevallo that they opened back this summer, and now a new one coming to Crestline. So soon to be 4 locations, local pizza, local ingredients, and I'm telling you, this takeout special, you could be a hero right now. $75 for that takeout special where you get a couple of pizzas, you get the wings, you get a pan of salad. It's only $75. Call ahead. The Lakeview location, the Vestavia location, the Montevallo location, you're going to absolutely love it. Again, it is a local ingredients, and it's all from our friends at Slice.
We do have a winner in the pick 3. I don't know if we've announced it on the air or not, Nick. 16-4 was the winner. We will announce it next segment. I'll find it in the commercial break. In the final segment. This isn't the final segment, is it, Rockstar?
Nope.
Oh, we got one more.
Okay.
One more.
In the final segment, I will pass that along to you there. Sneaky good games. Paul's really intrigued by Boise State, Fresno State this weekend. We all go away from college football in our sneaky good game. Hit it, Rocky.
The Baumhauer Spotlight.
This weekend's sneaky good game.
And it's brought to you by our friends at Baumhauer.
Yeah, and of course, Baumhauer celebrating 40 years. Make sure you get into one of those great locations statewide. Remember, our friend Bob Baumhauer was the first to deliver the delicious taste of wings way back in 1981. Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa. 40 years, 4 concepts, 14 restaurants later. Bob's still serving up great food and hospitality to the people and visitors of Alabama. Don't forget about Recession Concession Menu, going easy on your wallet. It's all from our friends at Baumhauer.
I'll start us off. I admit I made a mistake here. Brown drew a wonderful on Tuesday, a fantastic kangaroo.
Akron. We don't need a rock star.
Hell no.
Right there in that pouch.
Different day.
So I went quickly to what I think is going to be a sneaky good game for a team that just knocked off the number 1 team in the country in college basketball, Alabama, at home to South Dakota State this weekend. But they are not the Kangaroos.
They're not. They're the Jackrabbits.
They're the Jackrabbits.
Yep.
Oh, no.
But luckily, I am such a bad artist that I
Did you just do a shake weight?
I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't matter. It's not a good kangaroo.
Oh my God!
It's not a good kangaroo or a jackrabbit.
That is an anorexic deer.
Yeah.
Or a stuffed giraffe for a baby.
The Velveteen Rabbit.
Who's Alabama playing? Don't really know, sweetheart. We're going to the game, though.
But good news, I found us a brown marker. There's a positive.
Oh, there is a brown.
I got us a brown marker.
Hey, I'm going to use that.
So there we go. I got a brown marker. But there you go. I like South Dakota State, number 11 Alabama, a big comeback down-to-earth game against a team that'll be in the NCAA tournament. Sneaky good game this weekend. Tide needs to play an A game to beat these guys.
Yeah, I will tell you, if I would have had more time to work on this, I think this drawing would have been really good.
Yeah, me and you both.
But, I mean, I threw this shit together like in 4 minutes with no colors. But I'm going the NFL, 2 4-7s. I've got a 1.5-point road favorite. Trevor Lawrence playing good football going against your Detroit Lions. I got Lions and Jags.
That Lion is pretty good, though. I like that.
That line is no good at all.
No, the line's not good. The Jag is actually not bad.
The Jag is pretty good.
I just needed to tighten this thing up a little bit.
I am going to the ATL, noon CBS, Falcons.
The Uno team.
Steelers, huh?
Uno.
Falcons, Steelers, 12 o'clock. The Falcons a home dog of 1.5. Now, Kyle Pitts is out. He's having season-ending surgery, according to Schefter. But if the Falcons win this game and Tampa loses to the Saints, Falcons are in first place in that division.
How about that?
A lot of ifs.
Watch out for Kenny Pickett Sunday.
A lot of ifs. That's our spotlight brought to you by our friends at Baumhauer.
Hey, and get into Baumhauer's. Not only are they celebrating 40 years, but you can get that Alabama hot chicken. It's from Bob's own personal recipe. He now keeps locked away. Baumhauer's bringing the newest, greatest featured item, fresh southern fried chicken breast smothered in that tangy blend of boosting herbs, spices, honey, apple cider vinegar with a spicy finish, served with a side of the homemade smoked Gouda cheese grits, Miss Mary's southern greens and garlic bread. It's all available at Baumhauer's Victory Grill.
Before Brownie tells us about my bookie, the games this weekend, Scott says it's a koala head. Bob says no, Dunaway's drawing is a Mr. Puppet from Mr. Rogers. Stacy says it's a miniature T-Rex. Rusty says it's a koala head with 2 male appendages
for legs.
Let me see that again.
Kevin says it's a chupacabra.
It's a chupacabra, Bubba.
I said Bubba.
Bubba.
Yeah, your jackrabbit's pivot leg is definitely.
Pivot.
Always 3 seconds in the lane for him. What?
Always brought to you by our friends at MyBookie.
MyBookie.ag. When we come back, we're going to tell you an Alabama player that got significant playing time that is now in the transfer portal. Before we go to break, MyBookie.ag. A deposit of $500 or more, you can claim a bonus up to $200 when you use promo code NEXTROUND. That is MyBookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. Get that deposit bonus designed for bettors looking to get their cash in and cash out quick. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Bama player in the portal next.
All the stories important to us are in one place. Catch the morning rounds each weekday at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Banking is not just about your money, it's about you. It's about getting help with what you need when you need it. Brian Brown here for the next round. AmFirst was founded for members like you, and they've been putting those members first since 1936. Putting you first means service that grows and changes with the times to serve you better. Now every bank has their own app, but that's just it. It's theirs, not yours. The AmFirst app was made for you, so it's easy to pay bills, deposit checks, or transfer money to friends and family from anywhere. It's even customizable, which means you can personalize your dashboard, create usage alerts, and redeem points for rewards that will make you feel like the #1 priority you are. And you can do it all on your own time. So what are you waiting for? Get the app made for you from AmFirst. Visit any AmFirst location or amfirst.org today. America's first federal credit union is federally insured by the NCUA.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 in Hoover with walk-ons. The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcasts like Bama and Bourbon, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family, all at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family, all at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
The NFL playoffs are just around the corner and every game matters. Join us on the Next Round and Pepsi every Thursday as we preview the upcoming big games in the NFL weekend. Pepsi and the NFL, a perfect match for your weekend.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at New Life Art. Daniel A. Moore has completed his original full-color oil painting honoring Bryce Young, Alabama's 4th Heisman Trophy winner. This painting depicts the memorable Heisman-worthy go-ahead pinpoint pass to John Mechie in the corner of the end zone as the Tide dismantled the vaunted Georgia defense in the SEC championship game this past year. Use code TNR for 15% off. You can order online at danielmooreart.com.
The Alabama Head Injury Foundation strives to improve the quality of life for survivors of traumatic brain injury and for their families. Whether the injury is mild or severe, the life of the injured person and their family is changed forever. The impact can be both emotionally and financially devastating. AHIF provides the information to help clients and families understand the results of injury. AHIF helps access available resources and provides services and programs which meet the unique needs of individuals with traumatic brain injury as well as spinal cord injury in certain programs. Find out how you can help at ahif.org.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Final part of the show today, a couple of breaking news items brought to you by our friends at Backyards Adventure, a great gift for the holiday season. Go to the website, backyardalabama.com, backyardalabama.com. They got the alley-oop trampolines, the goal setter basketball goals, and a lot more. 205-408-4FUN. Lifetime warranties, they set it up. They'll move it. It's unbelievable quality, 100% cedar with those lifetime warranties, landscaping programs, and a lot more. Wherever you're watching this, Atlanta, Birmingham, Huntsville, Montgomery, go to backyardalabama.com and find a location near you.
Trayshawn Holden is entering the transfer portal. According to Trayshawn Holden, he has announced that on his Twitter feed.
Wow.
Trayshawn, 25 catches, 331 yards, 6 touchdowns for Alabama.
Trayshawn Holden.
In the portal.
We'll talk more about it tomorrow, but is there a chance Nick Saban's making some room in that receiving room, or is Trayshawn just looking for a better opportunity?
I don't know, but he is in the portal. Maybe he just doesn't he's like, if this is the best I can do under Bryce Young, I don't want to play under anybody else. Go see what else I got.
I wonder if he reverses, if Alabama sneaks into this thing somehow, the 3% pays off. Congratulations to Joey Lloyd. That's the guy who won our pick 3 this year from Buffalo Wild Wings. He was 16-4 the championship
That's amazing.
weekend.
Against the spread, right? That's ATS.
Yeah, 16-4 ATS. Way to go, Joey Lloyd. Way to go, all of you. Brown is working on gifts for everybody. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.